everyone. Welcome back to Poppin' In with Alexa and Molly. I'm Alexa.
I'm Molly.
And today we have our number one Poppin' In fan,
Emily.
Woo! Our iconic friend of the pod,
Also,
Emily.
that was kind of perfect because usually we struggle with how we introduce people because we never seem to like align on that.
Yeah.
And then that was perfect.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because Emily's like a show person, you know? Like...
I do love to put on a good show.
Like,
I'm excited.
You are. Like, I love... Can I just tell the story that you were telling earlier about, like... when Michael Jackson passed away, and then you did a performance of Man in the Mirror for your family.
I made my own choreography. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
choreography. And performed it for my whole family.
Yeah,
and one of my grandmothers.
Was everyone
or
sobbing?
my aunts. No one was crying.
No, everyone was like,
they were all
okay.
awkwardly nodding, like, good job.
Yeah. They were like very upset and sad.
It reminds me of when you had to like beg your parents to have a sleepover with your friend so you and your friend would like choreograph a dance and that would somehow like convince them to let you
Would
have
you
a
guys
sleepover.
ever hide when they'd be like, okay, your
Oh,
parent came
yeah.
to pick you up and you hide? Like, I remember one time my friend and I hid under a bed and then we had to get out of the bed and like I scratched my back because I was like trying to like hide. It was not great. My
you
mom
were like,
was
I can't
so
leave
pissed.
now. Like, I've ruined my spinal cord.
Yeah. I don't have a scar, thankfully, but it was not great back then.
I used to throw absolute temper tantrums when I had to leave my friend's house. I was thinking about it the other day, like, I cannot believe how much of an embarrassment I was.
Aw.
And she's like, no! Let me stay! And I bet the friend's parents were like, take your child.
Yeah.
Take them now.
I was not the best either.
Yeah.
Definitely threw many a temper tantrum.
Yeah. But Emily is here this week to pop in and chat about it. We have like so many topics to cover. We've been like
we kind of do.
Yeah, we have a lot of topics and I'm excited.
Yeah, so before you came over, we were catching up on Righteous Gemstones.
Yes, and
running through the
started
house
the
with a
new
pickle in our mouth.
season.
What would you have done if we were running through the house with pickles in our mouths? And you
What does
came
that
in?
mean though? Because like I've never understood like what do you mean running through the house with a pickle?
I think they had a pickle in their mouth.
But
Yeah.
why?
I don't
Probably
know.
because they're, I don't know,
Southern
children.
I love pickles, so
And
I do
like
too,
poor.
but I wouldn't like it's such a specific.
And also that's dangerous.
Run
Like
through
if
the
you
house
fall,
with a
with
pickle.
a
I was
big
thinking
ass-
about how dangerous it would be too. Like you could really choke and hurt yourself.
Unless it's one of the little pickles from Amber Ox.
I don't think that's
Shout
those.
out
I don't
Amber
think
Ox
they were doing
sponsors.
cocktail pickles. I think they were doing like
We want sponsors.
We need sponsors.
Yeah,
Pay for our
sponsors.
brunch, please. Thank you.
yeah. But so season 4 just came out. I think it was 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah,
And it
the
had a
third
pretty
episode.
iconic first episode. So if you are not familiar with like the Righteous Gemstones lore, I mean, skip ahead. We're gonna be saying spoilers, but also we're on season 4. And if you haven't watched it, what have you been doing?
No, but seriously, get into it because it's one of the like best comedies ever.
It's one of the number one shows that I recommend to people.
Yeah.
And I don't recommend a lot of shows, but if people haven't seen it, I'm like, you need to go home and watch every episode right now. It is the funniest show on air.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and it's also crazy to me. I've talked about this before, but it never gets like nominated for any awards, and I'm like, it did for like stunt performers or something,
Yeah.
but I'm like, it needs to be getting like best comedy actor, like Baby Billy needs, Walton Goggins needs to be winning Emmys for that show.
Yeah.
How do you get nominated for that? Like, did they have
think-
to put in for it, or?
I think HBO has to like put you out
submit
there,
it.
so
I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
But like I was telling Emily before you got here, I was like, the thing is it's a comedy, but it's so well produced.
Yeah.
Like it feels like you're watching a drama that's comedic.
Yeah, and I'd heard apparently like Danny McBride, who like stars in it but also creates it. He apparently like he doesn't watch comedies. He doesn't, even though he's like to me like one of the funniest people ever. But he doesn't like. He said he doesn't really watch comedy. He just like reads a lot, and so just all of his like natural comedy just comes from like everyday things or just whatever, you know.
Which is the best comedy, I think.
Yeah.
Like, did you know he's from Spotsylvania, Virginia? Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard it on. He was on Conan's podcast, and he said he grew up on prison properties because his dad was a prison guard.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so he would like
That's
move
neat.
around to
I'll have
different
listen to
prisons.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's usually like comedic people, like they're usually very smart, but also the ones who are just like, yeah, I'm just pulling this from my everyday life. Like that's the funny stuff. And they're also like the ones who are kind of like serious in real life.
Yeah. You have to also see how like the people watching are going to react to that kind of comedy, because something that's funny to me may not be funny to you.
Yeah.
But you have to be really tuned in with reactions.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And also, Judy, the actress that plays Judy, I don't know her name, but she is a writer on it too. And she's one of the funniest people I've, like, ever seen.
Yeah.
But I feel like not enough people talk about her or know her.
She is the funniest character on the show.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Got your whole jug out.
Yeah. Beach. BJ.
Well, I told Emily, I was like, she said something about, like, slick back, having your hair slicked back, and I was like, I cannot hear the word slick now without thinking of Judy Gemstone. Was like, damn, Beach, watching you work that pole got me slick, or whatever she says. It was so bad.
It's kind of repulsive that she says that, but it's also hilarious.
Everything she says is repulsive.
Monologue that she had where she talked about, that math teacher, whatever that she had, that she, like, basically, like,
kidnapped his kid.
Yeah. And,
she was like, so I bought him a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Yeah.
and I never saw him again. And BJ's like, they're talking about, I haven't had sex with as many people as you think I have.
Yeah.
You're the only one. He's like, I'm the only one you dry humped?
Well, I love when she has to go to her dad and she's like, I had a no-sex affair. And he's just like, okay.
And?
Yeah. So basically the background of the Gemstones is they are like the family of a mega church.
Yeah.
And I think they're in North Carolina.
They're in South Carolina.
Charleston, yeah. Which is where they film, I think, too.
So they're not in Charleston. They're they film in Charleston, but I just learned by watching their, like, Wired autocomplete interview that it's a fictional city called, like, Rogers, South Carolina, which I never knew. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was reading an interview with Danny McBride where he was talking about, he was like, I think the thing that makes it so good is when you have comedy that is also emotional.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not just, like there is dumb comedy in it, but, like, the characters, like, I think Judy actually has a lot of emotional depth.
There's times where I, like, do feel bad for her. Like, I feel sad for her.
And I love her and BJ, her former fiance, now husband.
Yeah.
Like, together. I'm like, I can't think of people more made for each other. Him and his glass of milk that he drinks every day.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
drink
and he,
milk.
like, enjoys being bullied by her, too. Even
I know.
though he's
Yeah.
like, be nice to me, but he's, like, signed up for it.
Yeah, he's so supportive of her.
Yeah. And I love that he calls Dr. Gemstone daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about this at work the other day, but my favorite is when they got married, because remember they got married at Disney?
Oh, yeah.
But, like, Prince Eric married them,
Yeah.
and the siblings were like, you didn't even get legacy characters at your wedding.
That's funny.
So funny.
why don't I remember that at all?
Yeah, I was like,
I should have
that's
rewatched
from, like, season
2 or something.
Yeah. It's okay. So I will say, after season 3, I was kind of surprised that they did a season 4 because I feel like season 3 ended on, like, a really nice note.
It did. With the monster truck and all of them, it just felt like it was such a good ending. Like, it wrapped
But I
it
am
up.
happy it's back for another season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you guys... Okay, so it started off with, like, a really interesting episode.
Okay. So we
With
just
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And he looks fine
looks
as
so
fuck.
good.
Oh, I was saying to Emily, I was like, I think this is the hottest I've ever seen Bradley Cooper, which is unfortunate because he is playing a Confederate
I know, I
soldier.
was about to be like in uniform, then I was like, actually no.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind.
I was like, never mind.
No.
But, well, he's not in uniform. Well, he is at the end. But he's not in uniform. Like, even in the beginning when he's murdering a priest, I'm like, he's kind of hot.
No, he is.
He was
yeah.
looking damn good.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper's making me slick.
Damn, BJ. No, he looks, and also it's so funny. I'm sure he was a fan of the show, and that's why he was on there.
So no, he had actually never seen any of the Righteous Gemstones. So what happened was Danny McBride like pitched this first episode, and he was kind of nervous about it. He was like, the thing is, it's not what people are coming to Righteous Gemstones for. Mm-hmm. So to pull it in, we have to have someone well known that everyone likes. And he was like, yeah, like someone like Bradley Cooper. And then someone on their team was like, well, why don't we just send him the script? And he was like, yeah, okay, sure, we'll send, like, this multiple Oscar nominee actor. And he sent it to him, and Bradley Cooper was like, I love this script. He was like, he was really blown away by it. And so he was like, I don't want to watch any of the Righteous Gemstones until we shoot this prequel because I don't want it to influence me.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty incredible because the way he talks, and maybe it's, like, just a sign of great writing, but the way he talks and stuff, I'm like, wow, it sounds like Jesse or, like... what, like, the
way he
dad
tunes into that Gemstone, like, legacy of who they are as a family.
Yeah.
But I thought, and it was like an interesting way to start the show.
Yeah.
But looking back, because when it first came out, I was kind of mad because I was like, well, I want to see the characters. Like, they could have just done this in the middle of the season. But looking back at it now, I'm like, that was actually such a good episode.
It was kind of iconic to start like that. And also, I will say that about the Bradley Cooper thing. So apparently they were really secretive that he was doing it, and no one picked up on it, even when... Like, they knew they were going to have some special star, but, like, Bradley Cooper would wear, like, a Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers t-shirt, and no one, like, picked up on it.
What do you mean, like, out and about?
Yeah, like, just he would be photographed in it until, like, the episode came out. Like, no one really knew that he was in it.
You think he was trying to get subtle advertising?
I'm sure.
Oh, probably. But I just think it's so interesting. Like, he didn't watch any of it, and so then they filmed it.
He's a fan now. Like, if he likes it now.
He has to be.
I mean, who wouldn't be a fan of the show?
Some people try to watch it, and they're like, I can't get into it. And I'm like, no, just keep watching. Just watch, like, multiple episodes.
To be fair, it is a lot of dicks.
Yeah.
And if you're not prepared for that many, like...
That is true.
It's definitely an HBO show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Max.
I think it's, like, the most... I always think when I click on HBO, that, like, meme where it's like, HBO Go, HBO Max, Max, and it's, like, a slow descent into madness.
I know.
That was weird.
We all kind of, like, stared off into space, like, oh. No, but the show is really good. You know, my parents actually recommended this show to me.
Really? I couldn't remember if you had already watched it, and then we were both like, oh my god, like, I both love that show, or if I had recommended it to you. I couldn't remember.
No, my parents love it, and they recommended it to me, and so they were like, just watch it, it's so funny. So I watched the first season, and I was like, I'm hooked.
I can't get my parents to watch it, and I know
my parents would not like it.
Well, they like John Goodman, like, they would like it, but David, if you're listening to this, please just continue watching, because I can tell that you stopped. I know you did.
Or else.
I got Matthew to watch it, and he loves it, and we watch it all the time.
Yeah.
We just, like, are constantly watching it. Like, we'll turn on, like, a random episode.
Yeah. And the thing is, I also love, I noticed this season, I love when they do the Righteous Gemstones intro, because it's literally just like a cut, and it's like,
or praise. They say praise, actually.
And they cut, it's like a super cut at like the perfect time.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like in episode 3, again, this is a spoiler, but Keith is like talking to the devil about saying like the rain is like the devil's
That was
piss.
crazy.
And he gets like an erection, and then it's just like,
Yeah.
praise, and it's so good.
That was a crazy, like, monologue.
Did I spit on you a lot?
No, I think I spit on myself.
Okay.
That would be a long flying spit.
I know. She always thinks she spits on me.
Have you ever seen like you've seen the spit like fly out of your mouth and hit someone, and you can tell they're like being polite and not saying anything, but they've like twitched.
You have to acknowledge it.
I think it's like my worst nightmare, and I'm afraid that that's gonna happen and ruin our podcast and friendship. Me spitting.
It wouldn't really ruin it.
It would for me. I don't think I could talk to you.
Yeah, if you went like, if you like spit on me, then yeah.
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 Anyways, so I think like if you had to identify yourself with any character, what would it be?
I'm definitely Judy.
Yeah, you are Judy.
I'm always talking about something horny, so.
Yeah, that is
it
true.
really.
Talking about some horny, like that's how she would say it.
Yes. I feel like, I don't know who you would be.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know either. Baby Billy is my favorite character, but I don't want to say I am him.
I think maybe
I'm Aunt Tiffany.
That's what I was gonna say. Like after she gets her teeth fixed.
Yeah.
I
hope so.
Jesus.
You're like, actually, we have to have a talk.
When she's pregnant and getting on that bus.
Yeah.
She's like, she may be stupid, but she's my stupid, or whatever Judy says about
Judy's
her.
so sweet to her in that scene.
Yeah.
My favorite scene of the entire show is when Billy is like leaving Tiffany and he's getting into that car. Well, first he starts spanking BJ. Do you remember when he's like, who squealed?
Yeah.
Which one of you piggies squealed? He starts like spanking BJ. And then he leaves her, like he always leaves people in his family. And he leaves Tiffany. And, like, Tiffany tries to go after him, and Judy's like, no, stay strong, bitch.
Yeah. I know, and then the
thing turns over while he's driving.
Yes,
so funny.
Elixir, the holy water elixir.
Yeah.
And then he just keeps driving, and
he runs off.
What is that thing even called that carries?
The trailer.
The trailer. Like,
Yeah.
everything is all over the ground.
I will say, so in this season, we just saw, like, I was in the kitchen doing something when this scene happened, and Emily goes, baby Billy Dick. And I was just like, yeah, you see it for like
His
a whole
ball
scene.
sacks were so
It's apparently
saggy.
not really him. I did.
How?
No, I looked it up.
In what? Like,
no,
how
no,
did they
it's
do
not
that?
Walton Goggins.
Like they
It's
just
somebody else's dick.
superimposed.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I was
superimposed.
thinking that because I did notice in the scene, like they were showing the dick a lot without the top of Baby Billy.
Interesting.
Which ball sacks were crazy. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I wonder if they used like a real old person.
It's a CGI dick.
No one can pull a Barry Keoghan and be brave like that. I feel.
Because Walton Goggins, who I would think would be brave like that, even said in the interview, he's like, "That's one thing I'll never do." I was like, "Wow."
Which I kind of
he's also kind of old. Like, how old is this man?
Walton Goggins is kind of hot. Though,
he is hot, but he is in his 50s, which I didn't realize.
Okay. I also kind of want to play Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers.
I do too.
I want to get a T-shirt.
I don't think I would do well at it, but
no, I wouldn't at all.
Bible Bonkers.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, you can really harmonize.
Yeah. I feel like you sing like once an episode. Let's all harmonize. Ready?
No, I can't. My voice is messed up anyway.
I'll do. Okay, I'll go up.
Okay. I'll start low. I'll start low.
Go
I'll
low.
start low. Ready?
Okay.
Praise.
That was good. We're like a little trio.
I feel like people are going to be...
We could be a doo-wop group.
People listening to this are like, and we're done.
Yeah, actually,
my uncle used to sing in the church, and he had a real deep voice, and that made me think of him just now.
Really? I can only sing men's parts. I don't know what that means.
Oh, you're probably an alto.
Checks out.
Yeah.
You're a baritone.
Yeah.
I was an alto.
I can do that. Yeah, you have a lovely voice.
Yeah, you do. You do nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whenever I listen back to this
She's gonna be
podcast,
Ariana
and it's
Grande.
like,
sorry,
that was good.
I was trying to sing.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Her whistle tone.
Yeah. I am not doing that.
That's fine. Anyways, so back to Righteous Gemstones.
Participating.
I don't know who. I feel like I maybe would be Baby Billy.
No.
Really?
No, I almost want you're not. Who would you be? Maybe you're Jessie.
Yeah.
Jessie?
Maybe you're Amber. Amber.
I was gonna say I'm Amber.
Molly's
Amber.
I am Amber.
Yeah. I see you shooting a pistol now. She was
so that's
good
one thing
aim.
I wouldn't do. I'm like terrified
She
of
is
guns.
so hot.
But she is so
She's
I
hot.
love her, and I do think. Well, I don't know if I love her, but she is funny. I just love her and Judy's like adversarial.
Yeah.
I love like.
I think you're Kelvin.
Why?
I'm just kidding. I wanted to see your face.
I think maybe you're Gideon.
Gideon's so
Interesting.
hot.
I love
He is.
Gideon.
What is that actor's name? I've seen him in
It's Skylar something.
Yes.
I've seen him in so many things, but I can't remember anything I've seen him in.
I followed him on Instagram, and then he posted a picture of his wife, and I was like, unfollow.
He has a wife?
Yeah.
I think he's like our age.
I know.
Yeah.
He's
like
17 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also love the scene in, I think it's episode 2, where they're talking about sending Pontius to military school, and she's like, yeah, and then you got in trouble for like putting firecrackers in your ass. Like, I need you to know, honey, that'll really hurt your privates. And he's like, everything's working just fine down there.
And then it pans to her face, and she's like, oh, God. She's like that emoji with the big eyes.
I don't think I like the actor who plays Pontius, though. I don't think he's a very,
Really?
like, the lines he delivers.
I think he's so funny.
His lines and stuff are funny, but I think, like, they come out false.
The thing for me is he looks like a little twerp, and
He
can't.
does.
I'm like, I hate you.
Remember when he went through his Pete Davidson phase where he literally looked like Pete Davidson with the hair and the tank top and like.
And they're like, yes. Did you notice Pontius got another tattoo on his eyebrow? And she goes, yes, blessed.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to Google, I was like, what are the craziest names from the Bible? But, like, I mean, Pontius Pilate
Pontius
is, like...
is funny that
Yeah.
they named him Pontius.
Yes, and I love that you figured that out, because in, like, the first season, it's like, they have children's lettering on the doors, and it's just, like, Gideon, Abraham, Pontius.
I forgot about Abraham.
Yeah. Which also, like, do they call him Abe? That seems like a strange name for, like, a child.
I don't really focus on him as much.
It's funny that they're like, Judy, you and Beej are in a real family. You don't have any kids.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, do you think they'll have children?
Can you imagine?
Well, I think this is the final season.
I think BJ would be a good dad.
No, he would, but I just can't. Maybe Judy will calm down if she has a kid.
I do think BJ is good for Judy, because BJ, like, especially now that he has, I think her having a no-sex affair really, like, leveled out their relationship, where he has a little bit more like, power over her to be like, hey, reel it back in. But Emily hasn't seen, like, the crazy scene with the thing.
Oh. Wait, what thing?
I haven't seen the most recent episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was actually about to bring it up.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's okay. You can bring it up. We're going to watch it.
Okay. It is kind of crazy.
I
when
know.
It
I
happens.
kind of
don't
want you
wanna
to
spoil
see it. Yeah,
it.
I won't spoil it.
Yeah, I want to see your reaction.
No spoilers on this week's
I'll
episode.
just what I'll hint at is like you think that the whole like pole not stripper but like the pole dancing thing, right? He's just pole dancer. The pole dancing thing is gonna be like the main thing for BJ, and then that's very quickly
not.
It's
It's good. It's not good. It's funny.
No, it's funny.
It's very funny.
I've talked to a lot of people who have said that they don't think this new season is very funny. And the most recent episode I didn't really love, but like the first two, the second one I thought was so funny when they're wearing the jetpacks.
I was
dying laughing.
And I was telling Emily, I was like, imagine going to a church like this. I was like, honestly, I would probably go because it is like, this is
this whole stage production
every week. It's a whole production.
It's a party.
It reminds me of how they have to put like Saturday Night Live together every week. I'm like, that's what they're doing at the Gemstone church.
Yeah. And they have to do it every week. That is kind of crazy.
And they're having rehearsal and all of that. It's insane.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah, you would have to actually rehearse every single day.
It's a whole production.
But I'm just imagining, like, we had to go to, the last time I went to church was for my, like, sister's son's dedication. I think that's what it's called. And I'm trying to imagine sitting there and suddenly, like, if the pastor went up in a jetpack. What would my reaction be?
Remember when they show the Christmas one and they're literally like in a Santa sleigh, like flying above the air? Like it's so crazy.
It's totally insane.
Yeah. Well, when they're doing like the donations for Amy Lee, they like kind of show how much people have donated. It's like $6 million already.
No, it's insane.
Yeah. Well,
it's crazy.
I think that's the whole point of the show, to show like
the wealth
and like the
non-taxable.
Yeah. The scams behind it.
But one thing I was going to bring this up earlier when you were mentioning that, like, they're, like, what makes the show good is it's also, like, emotional or whatever. I think it's also that the characters are likable to a degree, because you would look at them at first and see what they stand for, and you'd be like, oh, they're not likable.
Yeah.
But I think, like, with Eli... I think Eli started out with good intentions. He just, the fame, like, he obviously became, like, very powerful and rich. But, like, I think he started out with good intentions. And then I think that they all think they're doing a good thing. Like, Calvin thinks he's doing a good thing with, like, the youths.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes them the youths. And he's so good. Like, that's, like, an exact, like, youth group leader.
It is,
like, the jeans.
Yeah, when they showed him, I was like, this is perfect casting, yes.
He's so funny.
He is. I also, whenever I see Adam Devine, I think about when Adam Levine had that whole, like, sex scandal, and Adam Devine was like, I keep getting messages from people thinking that I'm Adam Levine. Levine. And he was like, I had to, like, I think he, like, turned his Instagram off for a while, because he was like, people were just, like, saying horrible things to me.
Oh, no.
Like, I didn't even do it.
Adam.
Anyways.
He's like, I'm being bullied for a crime I didn't commit.
Yeah. Well, you were saying, you were like, he's buff.
Yeah, he's gotten buff. I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
I did love when he had that, like, buff group of men. It turned south very quickly, but...
Oh, yeah, that was weird. About his men. What were they,
I kind of thought that was a weird storyline. That because once they held them prisoner or whatever.
I know, then they had to, like, bear the cross.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it seems like a weird storyline, but I'm like, I could see that happening. Like, it's like a hilarious,
became,
like, toxic masculinity thing.
What were they called again?
It was... God Squad.
God Squad. He always has, like, a thing every
The way I
season.
Googled this was Kelvin's Boy Squad.
It took you right there. I mean,
yeah, exactly. But I do think, like, it's interesting because, you know, this season maybe, I don't think it's that much more serious. Like, I thought the last episode was very funny, but it is, like, it's more in-depth, which I think makes the humor better. Yeah. But it also reminds me of, if you've ever seen the show Barry, where the last season is, like, very much...
full horror drama.
Yeah.
Like,
with, like, funny elements in it. And it's, like, I feel like that happens a lot with, like, very artistic comedic shows, where it's, like, as you get more into it, it gets more, like, emotionally in depth.
Yeah, and you're already attached to the characters in a way that makes you feel, like, emotional to them. And, like, back to what Molly was saying about how Eli had good intentions, I think that might play a little bit in that first episode of the new season, is, like, oh, he was a thief, he was a bad person.
Yeah.
And those are kind of traits are still portrayed, like, in the second season.
Or in the family. I feel like
like, it's like the origin where it's like you're trying to do good things, but, like, you just have this origin of badness. I think the first episode is honestly, like, an award-winning standalone episode. It was amazing.
I forgot that I was watching Righteous Gemstones and was just, like, interested in the story.
Same. I was like, more of this, please.
Yeah.
And more of Bradley Cooper looking sexy.
Yes. And the thing is, it was, like, funny. Like, when he's like, like, I am praying for you. I'm praying for you in my head. Yeah. It's in my head.
He's like, pray for me.
He's like, can you say it out loud? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And then he dies. And it's just very... Or, like, that, he's like, I'm never gonna die. We whooped their ass at Manassas.
I knew that thing was coming. I knew.
But they did it perfectly, because Chris and I were like, the whole time we were like, we know he's gonna get shot, but they did it perfectly where he kept going on and on. We were like, maybe he's not, and then
it scared me. I was like, oh,
Yeah. But they said it actually wasn't that crazy of an expensive episode. I think Bradley Cooper, like, they didn't pay him at all, or they didn't pay him, like, hardly anything. Well, he was like, yeah, they kept saying, like, this phrasing is confusing. They're like, yeah, Bradley Cooper did it for no money. Oh. But I'm just like, do they mean, like, very little money? Where they're like, for nothing. Like, he did it for basically nothing. But I don't know.
He thinks that Righteous Gemstone is charity work.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he probably is just like, I don't need the money, so, like, I'll just do this thing for you guys.
He did really good in it.
Which it must be nice, like, when you're an artist, where he was just like, I love this script, I just kind of want to be in this.
Yeah. Because
he felt connected to it.
And they filmed it all within original. 10 days. And they were like, and he's wearing, like, wool uniforms in 90-degree heat.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, where do they film?
They filmed that in Charleston.
Oh, okay.
I think they filmed the whole show in Charleston.
They do, because my friend saw she saw they were having a cast party from, like, it was, like, last season, but they were having a cast party. Or no, maybe it was this season. Maybe it was that recent. Anyway, they were having a cast party at, like, one of the bars there or something, or restaurants. And I was like, I would love to just run into, like, Walton Goggins or John Goodman.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. That would be sick.
That would be
just
crazy.
Like, under a palm tree.
What would you guys do? Would you be like, hey, and take a photo, or you just stare?
I think I'd stare. I'm never one to, like, go up. Because I'm kind of shy. Like, I'm not going to, like, go up to somebody and be possibly rejected. Can you imagine?
Yeah. That would be actually worse. But the thing is, I always think I would be confident, but this happened one time. We were in our local bar, Greenleaf, shout out, and me and friend of the pod, Emily Grosjean, who has been on this episode, or this podcast before, saw the guy from Outer Banks. He plays the dad. And she was like, is that the dad from Outer Banks? I was like, oh my God, yeah. And we kept talking about it. Neither of us were like, let's go up and get a picture, until our friend Julia was like, do you, like, want a picture with him? Like, she's never even seen the show. So she just went up and asked him.
She's the person to do that. Yeah. Like, to just go up and ask.
And then I
did
sent
you guys take the photo?
We did, yeah. And I sent it to my sister, and it happened to be around Halloween, and she was like, wow, that's a crazy good costume. And I was like, no, it's him.
It's the man himself.
The guy.
It's actually him. No, this guy got plastic surgery to play him for Halloween.
Yeah. I don't know.
I met Craig Robinson. Do you know him, like, from The Office? And, like, and he came to speak when I was in college. He came to speak at Mason, just, like, to a small, like, gathering. Like, it was, like, kind of, like, not everybody knew about it, but, like, one of my sorority sisters was, like, the TA for the professor that was, like, cousins with him or something. I don't know. Anyway, so she let us know that he was there, and we went, and then, like, he was taking pictures with everybody, and, like, he was actively taking pictures with people, and even still, I was, like, afraid to ask him for a photo, and, like, my friend had to, like, ask him for me. Like, I just, like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, bother people.
It depends on, like, what kind of setting. Like, that setting, I think it's appropriate, but one time I saw America Ferrera in New York City with her kids, and she was wearing I'm Just Ken shirt. And it was crazy. And I saw her, and I was like, oh, my God, that's America Ferrera. Whoa. But I was like, I'm going to go up to her. I was like, let's get a photo. Like, she's in her neighborhood walking around with her kids.
I feel like if you're wearing an I'm Just Ken shirt.
She wanted to be noticed. Yeah. I agree. Because it was like, the movie was like still in theaters.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. If she's wearing a shirt, yeah.
That's also probably, like, an interesting, like, Walton Goggins, I think, before White Lotus came out, like, if you had asked him, like, can I take a photo with you? It would probably be, like, one of those things, like, oh, my God, yes, like, I'm a little bit, like, I'm kind of famous. People are recognizing me. And now I feel like, especially after this past, like, year or so, he is like, oh, yeah, people know who I am.
So I love this, like, Goggins, like, Goggins-sance, I don't know, whatever. Because, like, the thing is, I feel like I can honestly say I've been a fan of him since, like, I love the movie The Hateful Eight, and he's been in, like, a few Tarantino movies, but, like, I thought he was amazing in that movie, and I remember, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, who is this man? Like, because he's kind of hot in that, and I was like, oh, like, and I was such a fan of him, and he wasn't really, like, he was in things like Justified, but I never watched that.
Oh, yeah.
And I had always, like, seen him and stuff, and then I watched Danny McBride did Vice Principals, which was really funny, and he was in that, and so I was, like, he was starting to become, like, a little bit bigger, and then, like, I think with Baby Billy and then also Fallout, he, like, really took off.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch Fallout, Emily?
No, but my parents love.
I didn't really like it.
I
love
really
him
like
as an actor, not the show.
Yeah.
I also kind of love, I feel like they all do the, like, Southern accent very well.
Oh my gosh,
Bradley Cooper fucking crushed it with his Southern accent in that episode. I was like, that sounds, where's he from?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where's he originally from? Maybe he
don't know.
Just picked up on that twang real quick.
I saw him in New York.
He's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I was getting. That's what I was gonna get. You know,
Abington Town.
Oh, because he's remember he's a Phillies fan.
Yeah,
yeah. That
There's
makes
a
sense.
lot of famous people. Remember that day I was talking about a lot of famous people come from.
And Walton Goggins is from Alabama. Oh. So that makes sense. They're like, yeah, we know this accent.
Although in real life, he doesn't really have an accent as much.
But he's heard it. Like, I don't have an accent.
He would know it. Yeah.
I feel like it's easy to, like, oh, yeah. When I get, like, sassy, I get, like, very twangy. Have you ever taken that New York Times dialect test?
No.
Yes, because they got it like completely accurate.
Yeah. Wow, so what kind of questions does it ask?
It's like, do you call this like a median or like a rumble? Whatever the other
salmon, like that kind of thing.
Well, it's like, what do you call certain things? So like, I'm trying to think.
Like one of them was about like a bug that's like rolls up into itself and like it's
pill bug.
Interesting. I call it a roly-poly.
Yeah.
It literally was like, you're from the Chesapeake Bay region of Virginia.
It told me I was from like Norfolk, Newport News, Hampton area. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was, oh my God, I want to take it.
I'll find it and I'll send it to you.
Please do.
What if it's just like, we don't know. Yeah. What if they're like, are you that, can I pet that dog girl?
Literally. Are you famous?
Yeah. But anyways, I'm loving this season so far, but I love every season of Gemstones because again, I just feel like they do it all very right. I think Danny McBride is a genius.
I do too. And the thing is, you were saying earlier, like he's actually he seems kind of like subdued in real life.
Yeah. They always
which
are.
He's one of the funniest people to me, but
like if you ever like watch interviews with Steve Martin, even when he was younger, like, he's just kind of chill, but then you see him, like, do his thing, and it's like, he's
his
Steve
job,
Martin. Yeah.
You know?
Have you guys ever seen This Is the End?
No.
Oh, my God. Okay, Alexa, I'm adding that to my list.
Okay, interesting.
What is it about?
I'm adding it to my mental list for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a meta movie. It's about, but it stars, like, Seth Rogen.
Wait, yes, I have seen it. It has that one guy with the brown hair and the eyebrows.
Okay.
He's in a lot of movies with Seth Rogen.
Like Jay Baruchel, he's in it, and then James Franco's in it.
Yes.
Okay.
But Danny McBride like makes he appears like halfway through the movie because the whole movie is about like it's like they're going through this apocalypse.
Yeah, and like a hole in the earth. And Rihanna's in it. Isn't Rihanna like randomly in it?
Who is?
Rihanna.
Yeah, Rihanna's in it. Because it's a party, so it starts off as like a party at James Franco's house. So
I have seen this.
Okay, never mind.
Well, I saw it. I don't remember anything about it, but I remember like now that you're saying it, I do remember.
Like years, it's old.
Yeah, I remember. I saw it when it first came out.
I saw it in the movies with my mom. We knew nothing about it, and I've never laughed so hard at a movie before. Like it was like the funniest thing. Like it's still one of my favorite movies.
It is a very funny movie.
But halfway through, Danny McBride, like you find out that he's been at the house, so that the apocalypse has already started, but he doesn't know about it because he's like,
yes.
And they show him, and I remember like when I watched it when it first came out, I was like not a fan of like Pineapple Express or whatever that he was in at the time. So like when they showed him, like it didn't mean anything to me. I was just like, it was supposed to be this big reveal that it was Danny McBride, and I was like, okay, like I don't know this man. And I feel like if I'd seen that now, I'd be like, yeah, like because I'm such a huge Danny McBride fan now.
Yeah. You know what I've been trying to get Molly to watch for the past year? The Other Two.
Oh, do you like that show?
I think I did watch it.
Yeah, you said you loved that show.
She doesn't even remember it.
It's it's the brother and the sister, and they're trying to get famous.
Oh, yes, it is really funny, but it's, like, canceled, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, it ended. It just ended.
Well, they ended it quickly. They ended it early.
Yeah, I think I remember being, like, I wanted more seasons.
Oh, I thought it felt... Okay.
No, I mean, they announced... Yeah. They, like, announced that it was, like, they were canceling it.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I think the two...
I mean, I watched that, like, during the pandemic or something. Like, that was a long time ago, it feels like, forever.
Yeah, but I was really proud of that recommendation. Never mind, I thought I was going to get you on my side.
Oh, my God, look. No, we can get Molly to... watch it.
Okay, so they had me watch it. They had me watch like 2 episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did recommend that, and something else you recommended to me too that I really liked, but I can't remember. I'd Sex Slave with College Girls. I think you recommended that.
Oh, really? I do like that one.
I never watched that either. I was gonna ask you guys. So you said who you would be, but like, who's your favorite character on the show?
Still Judy.
Yeah.
I think BJ is a close second.
Really?
Yeah.
I love their little dynamic.
Yeah, I think they're good.
I also love when someone's mean to a man.
Mine is either Baby Billy. I think mine is Baby Billy, but I also do love Judy.
Yeah, Judy's a strong one.
Yeah.
Sorry, my nose itches.
Allergies.
Oh, can we talk about the kids that play the younger versions of them?
They do so
because I've never seen anything so like accurate,
depicted. Yeah, very well.
Yeah, it is crazy. It is literally like little
Fuck you, Judy.
Yeah, fuck you, Judy.
He's so good. Like particularly the young Jesse is like crazy good.
Yeah, it is. Really
and it kind of looks like him. Like really does.
Yeah. He just gets all his like pizzazz, idiosyncrasies, like very.
Like the
how old do you
rhythm.
think he really is?
That actor?
Yeah.
Oh, he's probably like 17.
Yeah, but he looks much younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But Judy's in that car that Baby Billy got her.
Yeah.
You're like, you are way too old for this car.
That's funny.
I love when Macaulay Culkin played Baby Billy's son.
I know.
Yeah,
He punched him in the face.
Yeah.
He's been making random cameos. He made a cameo in Running Point, and I didn't understand why until I realized that what's her name? She played London Tipton.
Brenda Song. She's
Brenda
married
Song.
to him.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, right. Someone said it. I was like going on about. I was like, I don't know why he made a cameo in this show, and it's like, oh.
I didn't realize they were
Yeah.
married until just this year when they were pictured on some red
I
carpet.
was thinking about. I was like, I can't wait to see what their kids look like when they're older. I was like, they're gonna be like probably very stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Like just like structurally.
She is
pretty.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
she looks exactly the same as she did on like Sweet Life.
Yeah, it is crazy.
She did not age.
Yeah.
Wow.
But wait, where was I going with that?
But
Macaulay Culkin.
Anyways. Speaking of people having children, I know we talked about like Severance finale last week a little bit, but Emily, I know, had thoughts on it because you've been watching it, and I think we just wanted like a little more time to digest our thoughts as well.
Yeah. I will say the last episode really pissed me off.
Really?
The ending scene, I was like, are you kidding me? After
yeah.
all
I know.
of that
Quite a cliffhanger.
work
quite.
to get her out and like the whole season, and then he was just like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
I loved the part though where it was like Mark talking to Mark, and it was just like kind of showing that
Oh,
they
Yes,
are two
that was
souls.
so good.
And they are, the way he played them both differently is
Yeah.
like, even before they started speaking, I was like, I can tell which Mark is which.
Yeah.
And
Even
he
the
was-
way they hold their head, it's like different.
That was him getting back at him.
Yeah.
At himself for when he was leaving Gemma. Like that was him like getting back at him, I
Yeah.
think. And that just pisses me off because I just feel like I'm like, that's not Mark. That like Mark is, they're both nice, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're both good people.
And like,
So-
what do they think is gonna happen? They're gonna go back in there and what? Listen to more of that band? Like, what?
Right.
Like, what is their
Thank you.
plan? Like, they don't have. If you are inside of here, you are stuck under the Cure Lumen.
I was like,
bullshit.
what band? The marching band.
And there
Yeah.
were theories that was not Hailey, that was Helena
okay.
that
Yeah.
taking him, which is why she would do that. Because I thought that was unrealistic that she would just like take him away from his wife who's
Yeah.
screaming at the door. But so people were theorizing like it's Helena, but Ben Stiller's like, or Adam Scott, whoever, was like, no, that was definitely Hailey. I don't know.
Yeah,
why
I think it was
yeah.
Hailey. And I think she was like happy, like, oh my god, he chose me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because I was reading this thing today where apparently originally, like, it was supposed to stop right before he made the decision. So that
thank
was supposed
God
to be
they
the
didn't do
cliffhanger,
that.
Yeah. And I can't remember why they changed it, but I was like, that's very interesting.
Probably to not be as much of a cliffhanger as the last season was, because
Yeah.
that'd be like way too.
I know,
was
that
so
was
crazy.
insane. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god. After
Did you
that.
watch it, like, right when it came out, or did you watch it?
I watched it probably like a year after that.
Okay.
Or I watched it last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I watched it I watched it maybe like a year after it came out.
I actually, sometimes it is hard for me to get, like, back into shows when there's, like, these huge breaks.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of the same thing, like, when I'm reading a book in a series and the next one hasn't come out yet. It's like, I don't remember what happened. I don't know.
Right.
Like, sometimes I just don't pick up shows again, even when I'm like, I love it. But I will be picking up Severance. I watched it when it first came out, and I was waiting 3 years for this season. And if I have to wait another 3 years, I will be severing.
I will be severing. I waited 2 years, and Alexa and I talked about this, like, the first time I watched it, I was like, this is a good show, but I didn't really get, like, attached to the characters. I wasn't, like, I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, when it comes back, I'll watch it, but I wasn't, like, super excited. And then when it was coming back, I decided to rewatch season 1, and I just became, like, obsessed with it at that
Yeah.
point. Like, I was like, oh my god, this show is so good, and then I was so excited. So I'm glad that, in a way, I didn't, like, love it the first time, because then I
And
would
you
have had to
rewatched
wait
it,
2
yeah.
years. Like,
I definitely only watched it last year because it felt like I knew that season 2 was like coming anyway.
Yeah.
When I watched it, and I probably wouldn't have came back to it just because, you know, I don't come back to shows a lot unless.
Yeah.
But this one, like, everyone was talking. It was like a big buzz about it, and like the fact that they did that thing in Grand Central Station, I was like, yeah, I'm stoked. To
yeah,
watch
that
it.
was good.
Can you imagine being, like,
No.
I was like, should I fly there? Like, I want
I
to
know.
witness
Can you
this.
imagine? Well, I saw people on Twitter being like, "Oh my god, like I'm gonna run there." Like they were
Yeah.
there, obviously, like living there, and they're like, "Let me run there. I heard
Like-
there's a pop up."
That's so crazy. Would you be severed, Emily? I think we've already said yes.
Yeah. Oh, severed for work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I'd love to be severed for work.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I think I would too. And then I was gonna ask a follow up to you guys.
Ooh, I love a follow up.
So think about like what Gemma, the different things that she was like when she
Oh,
was
yeah.
whatever, like, you know, writing Christmas cards or like be on an airplane during turbulence. Like, What would you want to be severed for? Not work related, but like is there something in life that you would like just want to be severed for? Like a dentist appointment or something.
Yeah, I don't actually love the dentist. Maybe my OBGYN appointment. Hate that.
Actually, that's okay. Now that's a really good one.
Yeah. I think I don't want to have kids, but if I was into that, if I was into that portion of my life, I think that would be a great thing to be severed for, so you don't have to experience that.
I think you have really good ones, Emily.
Yeah. I also think, like you had talked about, you wanted a gem. Like, that'd be sick for my innie just to get ripped and also not eat. Like, they're starving the whole time. So, and they worked out really hard for me.
That's actually a good
enjoying my good-ass dinner.
Yeah. And the OBGYN is a very good one because I, like, truly hate the OBGYN. Yeah. Like, I love my OBGYN, but I hate going.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I don't know. Okay, come back to me. Let me think about it again.
Mine would be, okay, you know that moment, like, where it's, like, right before going to bed and you still have, like, say you've just, like, fallen asleep on the couch or whatever, and it's, like, that moment where you still have to, like, get ready for bed.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good.
I thought about it last night because I was just, like, so angry that, like, I was so exhausted that all I wanted to do was just, like, get in bed, but I still had to take my contacts out. I still had to wash my face and, like, put my, like, face stuff on. Like, I still had to, like, put my retainer in. Like, all of that bullshit that, like, you're just, like, you want to get in bed.
Yes.
I'd be severed.
It makes me stay up later because I'm, like, dreading doing it.
Yeah, that's it. I think a good thing to be severed for would be hangovers.
Oh, yes.
If you get really bad hangovers, you have a party all night and then you go to your little severed closet.
Yeah. Mine kill me now. Like, because I'm at that age, I guess, where I'm just like, I literally die for a day and like my last one, I was out the entire day and then a little bit the next day.
I was worried about myself this morning. I felt very quiet at brunch because I was like,
I was worried about you too.
Over.
Then you took that little nap. If you don't know, we've mentioned this on the pod before.
I am not a sleepy.
Emily loves to call people who like to rest sleepies.
But I took a nap.
I did only have 4 hours of sleep last night.
Yeah.
Sleepy.
And she's been waiting all day to call me that.
Sleepy.
I almost didn't want to take a nap because of it, but I was like, I gotta close my eyes.
Like
just because you didn't.
I was fighting. I was like a toddler fighting.
Yeah, you were like, we can watch Righteous Gemstones. I'm just gonna have my eyes closed, and I was like, what?
Sleepy.
Yeah. I was like, we can just like not watch it, and you were like, no, I like to fall asleep watching things, and I was like,
oh, same.
Not to bed, not for bed, but just like if I am gonna take a nap.
Molly's
I like to take an alert. I call it an alert nap. So I want like noise or like music or like TV playing, so like I kind of rest, but like not really.
Yeah, that way it's like easier for you to wake up too.
Yeah, exactly.
The hangover thing would be really good because again, like I am like they kill me now. Yeah. That's a good one.
I want to be severed specifically for doing the dishes. It takes me so long to do them every morning. I do it when I come downstairs at 10 a.m. I feed Poe and then I do the dishes while she's eating, and I'm not kidding. I hate doing the dishes. Like sometimes I sit there and I think
washing them, putting them in the dishwasher, taking
all of it, from point A to point B. I hate doing every single step of it. I hate it so much. I literally like sometimes I'm like I'm gonna break down in tears doing these dishes because I hate doing them so much. And the thing is, you do the dishes, you're like, wow, my kitchen is clean, and then there's dishes.
That's just so I don't mind the dishes at all. My house chore I hate is laundry.
I was gonna say,
like there's just so many steps, and it's never done unless you're like naked. You know, like your laundry is never a chore that's ever completed because you're wearing clothes while you're washing the clothes.
Which I'm surprised you. One thing about Emily, and I'll just say this,
I love to be naked.
She does. And one time we were at, again, friend of the pod, Tanya's apartment, and I'm sitting there on my phone. I don't know where Tanya was, and Emily has been steadily talking to me, like cleaning Tanya's apartment, and
literally
I look up, butt naked. Absolutely naked. And I was just like, have you been naked? It's been like 20 minutes. I was like, have you been naked this whole time? And you were like, yeah. I was like, oh, the first time I met Emily, she was butt naked.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is
got to get that laundry done. How else are you going to do it?
I know. So I do like to do laundry naked.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Do you have roommates? I forgot.
I do have a roommate. Actually, funny story. Side note.
That's hilarious.
So when my roommate first moved in with me, I thought he worked Monday through Friday, like in the office. And turns out he actually has Fridays off because he works Saturdays. And I didn't know that. And I was working all morning to like almost noon, butt-ass naked. And thankfully he didn't come out.
In your living room.
So then I changed. I put on some clothes. I was like, oh, I'm going to go for a walk, take Luna to the park. and he comes out. And I was like, oh my God, you've been here all day. I've been out here naked. Like, I wouldn't have been embarrassed, but he would have been embarrassed. And that would make me feel uncomfortable that he
I'm just, like, imagining what that reaction would be. Just like,
whoa. So then the next week, I get a text message from him. Reminder, I'm home today.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's like, okay.
He's like, so put your clothes on.
Yeah.
The same as me looking up and just being like, have you been naked this whole time?
I know, I texted Tanya.
You were just like...
She moved into a new place, and it has, like, really nice hardwood floors. And I texted and was like, can't wait to mop those floors naked. And then I was, like, pronounced naked.
But anyways, yeah, I would be severed for doing the dishes. Sometimes when I'm doing them, I feel like I'm in Don't Worry, Darling, where I'm just like, is this a simulation?
That's kind of severed.
Yeah, actually it is.
It's a similar
Honestly,
concept.
it was a gift. She should have thanked her Harry Styles ugly incel husband for that.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I don't actually believe that. I want to clarify.
Yeah.
What a bad movie.
You know what? It had the potential to be good. Like, I didn't think it was the worst movie I ever saw, but I think all the drama, it's kind of like with, like, Snow White or whatever. It's like all the drama surrounding it made it worse.
And that's
and Harry Styles cannot act.
No, he cannot.
No. He was, like, half British in that still.
He was really bad. I remember when we found out, though, that his weird dancing in that one scene was because he was supposed to be a marionette, like a puppet. Yeah. But, like, we didn't know that. And so if you don't know, he just is doing this weird dancing. It was ridiculous.
The thing is, I think about, and, like, having watched, like, that new show, The Studio, which we'll talk about in a different episode, but, like, I just think about, like, things in Hollywood where it's like, oh, I wrote this movie, I'm so excited for it, or, like, oh, I starred in this movie, like, I'm really excited for it, and then it gets overshadowed by, like, drama.
Yeah.
And, like, how pissed you would be.
You know what I thought was, like, if you started a movie that you really thought was good, and then you're, like, excited for it to come out, and then it's, like, it just gets panned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always, like, think that's sad, because I'm just, like...
you put so much time and money. Like, this is someone's art. It is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But if it's a bad movie, it's a bad movie.
I know.
I kind of feel bad for, like, the whole Blake Lively drama for Colleen Hoover, because it was, like, her first book turned to movie. And, like, is that gonna taint that from happening in any of her other books?
Apparently, no. I think Verity is
and Verity sounds like it's probably gonna go better.
I think they're not gonna make a second one for sure.
Mm-mm.
Like
they probably were going to, but now they're not.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gonna taint Blake Lively.
Oh, absolutely.
And Ryan Reynolds, and, like, just...
You know what? I think he'll be okay. I think after a while, things will go... Because I've never liked him, but I'm like, he will be fine, probably. But
she won't, because everyone hates women.
Yeah, right. Well, speaking of which, on to our next topic of... I'm actually very excited to discuss this with you all, because I know you guys know how much I love Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, yes.
Him and Gwyneth Paltrow, they're... Okay, be fucking...
Hold on, what are we talking about? I thought they were in a movie together.
They are actually having
So I didn't know it was a movie or show, whatever.
Yeah.
It is, until this whole we're gonna topic about it.
Yeah, all I put on a show note is Gwyneth Paltrow and Timmy C fucking, and then
which
are they having sex?
I was excited because I'm not down for the count with him and Kylie. I don't ship that, and I'm a big Timothée Chalamet fan as well.
I don't ship it either. I don't hate it anymore, but I also just am kind of like I doubt they like have anything in common.
It's interesting because I don't know who I would picture Timothée Chalamet with, though.
Yeah.
He was with Lily Rose Depp, and I'm like, that's perfect.
Yeah, they're a good match. Yeah. Or, what's her face from Tuesday, Wednesday?
Oh, Jenna Ortega.
From Tuesday.
I feel that's a good one. They be cute together.
He looks good with Tim Burton people.
He used to date Madonna's daughter.
Oh,
and she's really pretty.
Paris Madonna?
It's something French. Paris Madonna.
But anyways,
something French,
to clarify, so Timothée Chalamet and Gwyneth Paltrow aren't like having sex in real life. They are in a movie together that's coming up from A24 called Marty Supreme, and it's basically about this like ping pong champion, I think in the 70s. It's supposed to be a follow-up to Uncut Gems.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I don't need to see Uncut Gems.
I don't think so, because I don't think they keep saying it's a follow-up to Uncut Gems, but I think it's like just the director's next movie. So I don't think it has to do with Uncut Gems.
Oh, like it's a Safdie. So it's like one of those Safdie brothers.
And so they, apparently in this movie, she was like, we have a lot of sex. She was like, there is a lot of sex.
Are we going to see Timothée Chalamet's booty?
Oh, I think it's been on screen before.
Was he naked in Call Me By Your Name? I don't know.
He has to have been naked in some.
He was definitely not naked in my favorite movie.
What?
Wonka.
Can you imagine if they just went really hard with that movie? Like a very like R-rated Wonka.
He's like completely naked, but just the top hat.
And then I would have liked the movie even more.
It is so crazy to me how much you
do, and you got like really angry that we like didn't, or that I didn't like it.
Yeah. I didn't. I'm gonna be honest.
I haven't seen it.
I watched the whole thing, but I remember texting Molly immediately. I didn't know it's a musical, and he opened his little mouth with like a, and I was like, okay, I guess the other.
All of them are musicals.
Yeah. I guess I just don't.
I'm just kidding.
Wow. You went to see it like 3 times in theaters, right?
I did see it 3 times in theaters.
Have you seen it since then?
I haven't seen it, but I've thought about it because it comes up on one of my streaming platforms.
It's like I think about it every day.
I love that.
Is it because like you love just him in it, or like do you love the music?
I really liked Charlie and Chocolate Factory movies, and I know people are like weirded out by them, but I love the old one.
Oh, Willy Wonka is Matthew's favorite movie.
Like,
which one?
Willy Wonka and the old one.
Oh yeah,
I love them all.
I love Charlie.
Yeah.
And I love that it was like a backstory of it. I thought it was really like the colors in it were so nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like felt really like connected to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does sound like a comfort movie.
For you.
Yeah. I should watch it again. But I don't have enough time.
No nudity in it.
No nudity.
Maybe it could be like your airplane movie. Like I have comfort airplane movies. It sounds like that should be your airplane.
Well,
movie.
Knives Out.
My airplane show is the new Ali Wong special. I've watched it 4 times on an airplane.
I'll watch it.
It is so funny. The first time I watched it, I was flying to Chicago, and I was crying laughing. Like, it was so funny.
For a second, you went like this. Like, I was flying to Chicago, and I was like, were you flying the plane, Emily?
That's you know what I will say, though? Sometimes, like, it's embarrassing watching stuff on a plane. Like, I was watching that Jennifer Lawrence movie, and there's a scene where I was literally, like, crying laughing, and then you're just on a plane, and Chris was like, must be a funny scene, huh? And I was just, like, tears streaming down.
No.
I was like, yeah, it's really funny.
The one with the kid?
Yeah.
That is a really
hard
funny
feelings.
movie.
It is a really funny movie.
Do you know what's worse is like if you're on an aisle seat and you're watching like something kind of inappropriate on the screen. Like I tried to watch The Whale on an airplane, and the very first scene is, and whatever. Like he is just like wearing like a suit, and he's like jerking off in the first scene.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh. And I'm like on the aisle. I'm like, no, not The Whale.
Well, my dad watched Poor Things on the way to
say
London.
porn.
Oh, wow.
They're going to say porn.
No, he watched it.
I was like, whoa.
No,
close.
As soon as they landed and met me in London, Alex goes, yeah, your dad watched Poor Things the whole way here, so that was interesting.
Yeah, he says a lot in that movie.
That is a lie, yeah.
The thing is, though, about watching stuff on a plane is, like, it's not like, you know, at the gym, people are like, people aren't really paying attention to you. And they're not. Like, I don't pay attention to other people at the gym. Mm-hmm. People are paying attention to what you're watching on a plane.
I'm always looking at
I'm like, what do you guys, like, what else do I have to do? You know, it's like, there's...
Especially for long flights like that.
And I'm like, oh, you're watching porn? Okay.
One of the funniest things, like, I somehow got like bumped to first class on my way to San Francisco one time, and I was in one of those like it was like a pod thing, and the guy next to me, I could see his screen if I was like laying back in the thing.
Yeah.
And he kept falling asleep. He was watching Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and he kept falling asleep. So every I swear he restarted the movie like 3 times, and it was just Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Like it made me laugh because he was just like,
he was like, I need to see the beginning.
Yeah, and he kept falling asleep.
Well, one time on a plane, it was like me, Molly, and friend of the pod, Megan. We were all trying to watch a movie at the same time, so we kept trying to hit play at the same time, but we kept messing. We'd be like,
somebody's
1, 2,
finger would
3.
be too slow,
but
or someone would get an ad.
Yeah. But anyway, so Gwyneth Paltrow and her
I'm like, what is this movie about?
So yeah, basically he's like a mafia ping pong player.
Okay.
Sorry.
And
she's like his like arm candy type thing. Okay. But it's supposed to be like
she's his arm candy.
Yeah.
I mean, she's beautiful, but she's like 50.
Yeah, so she literally said, she was like, we're having sex scene. She's like, great, so you're 14 and I'm 109. Awesome.
You're 14.
Yeah. Not in the movie, but I think it's like and it's supposed to be based on a real life ping pong player, even though I think A24 keeps saying like it's not based on him. But it very clearly is based on someone named like Martin something.
Okay.
Who's like a famous ping pong player. But it's like a ping pong mafia. And so, but they've been keeping a lot of the info and stuff like very under wraps. Like that's all you can really find out about it.
Anything about it.
I don't think it comes out, like originally people had speculated it would come out in the fall, and now people are excited because they think it's like going to be a December, like a Christmas Day release, which is interesting.
Like a complete unknown.
But she just kept saying, she was like, we have sex a lot. And this is the first movie that Gwyneth Paltrow has done in like 15-ish years.
What other movies
She was
is
in
she
like
in?
Marvel, a lot of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, like after, like, well, that she considers where she's like acting.
Because she doesn't remember that she's in those. She
Yeah.
keeps being like, I was in Spider-Man. Like, she doesn't know that she was in like certain Marvel movies.
She's like, well,
She's
this is
in that skiing accident.
She just,
Yeah. And
so weird.
she's like, this is like the first role where it's like I've actually like had to act, you know? And I think it's interesting because she was talking about like the last time she did this, like obviously intimacy coordinators are very new and they're a product of the Me Too movement, of which Gwyneth Paltrow had a huge role in.
Yeah.
And so she was saying, she was like, it's interesting because an intimacy coordinator would be like, you know, put your hand like here and they'd be like, okay, is that okay? Do you feel comfortable? And she was like, back in my day, we just rubbed ourselves together and we were like,
we were just fucking.
Yeah, we were just naked on screen.
Yeah.
And so she said that her and Timothée were basically, Timmy, were basically like, we're good to the intimacy coordinator, which they, like, actors can do.
Yeah.
But they were like, we don't need you, we're good. Which is so interesting. Like, I am curious to
People
see.
get mad when celebrities say that too, because Mikey Madison said that about Honora. She was like, I personally didn't want an intimacy coordinator for that movie. And people like she got a lot of backlash for that.
Yeah, because some of the actors, and I do see this, like, they say, like, it kind of takes you out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to, like, but also, like, it is, I think, not necessary, but it's good to have that offering.
I think they should be there.
Yeah.
Just even if, like.
But I think we're the
but
problem.
what if you opt out of it and then something happens? You know?
Yeah.
What if the other person, like, what if, okay, say Mikey Madison was like, I don't want it, but the other person was like, well,
That's what I was about to say. Like, I wonder if Timothée Chalamet was just like, I'd like one.
I'd like one.
Excuse me, sir. Please
Come
come back.
back, please.
Yeah.
More, please.
But I just think it's going to be interesting to see her play alongside Timothée Chalamet. And so I also think Gwyneth Paltrow is interesting in her whole Goop era, which has been like, it's not an era, it's like her whole life, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm here to say, like, I am always just like one financial tax bracket away from becoming a gooper. And I don't mean that, like, I don't think you should drink raw milk or like put jade eggs up your vagina, but I'm just like, there is something about it. I'm like, I can see why, like, just watching Gwyneth Paltrow talk, I'm just like, yeah.
I have read it and, like, been into it here and there. I wouldn't call myself a gooper, but I will say I've frequented.
No, but I stopped myself. I'm like, I'm not going to follow the page. I'm just going to look at some recipes.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to, actually I do follow some of the pages, and then I'm going to like take a step back, but I'm just like, it's pretty. It's like, yeah, I do want to be like Gwyneth Paltrow looks amazing. Yeah. She's eating well. Like she seems so chill about everything. Like she's had a very interesting life, but I'm like, you seem honestly not even like a fake happy or serene. Like you seem very genuinely fine.
And also one thing I love about her is she doesn't pretend that she's not what she is. She's just like, yeah, I'm rich. And she's like, yeah. And she's a Nepo baby too.
Yeah.
Like she's
she doesn't like the term of Nepo baby, but she's just like,
I don't
whatever.
consider her one actually, because I'm like, she's Gwyneth Paltrow. But she is a Nepo baby.
Oh yeah.
Made like this whole brand for herself and like put herself out there. But I guess you can argue like, well, a lot of Nepo babies do that, but they had the means to do it.
I think she's just done it in a way where she is because she again is a very like thin, white, blonde, rich woman. Everyone's like, I want to be like that. And so they're like, I'm going to eat what she eats and I'm going to do like all of these other things or whatever. But I do think like the problem with Goop is that it does spread all this misinformation.
Oh, absolutely.
As health. And that's why I'm
she's
like,
not
I wouldn't
running it or
I'm not like, like pro Goop, but I'm just like, like it is. I can see how people get drawn into this cult. Like it's the same reason why I always say like, if NXIVM had been around when I had like the means, I probably would have joined the NXIVM cult. Like I would be branded right now.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking about why people joined it, where they're like, I wanted to like, you know, embrace my creativity and find like a greater sense of purpose. So like they were taking basically like, you know, those like masterclass type classes. Yeah. And I was just like, that sounds great. I would be like, yeah, here we go. But what always gets me, what stops me from joining these cults is the money.
Yeah. And the minute that they're asking for it.
Like all kinds of cults that we do are part of, but it's not necessarily a cult. But things that we are really passionate about. That could be considered cult or cult-like following.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole podcast Sounds Like a Cult that I think is really interesting, where they talk about like the different levels of like social cults that we're a part of, like Lululemon versus like Jonestown, you know, which is like, you know, like those, like one is like a defined cult, but another one is like kind of culty. Like if you work at Lululemon, like the way they treat their employees allegedly is like kind of the way that you would treat like someone in a cult.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. Or like they were talking about like the cult of book talk or whatever recently, where it's like it's not a cult, but it has
Mom
cultish
talk.
vibes. Yeah.
And the Mormon show.
So I'm which comes back soon, so we'll be talking about that again.
Really, you're gonna watch season 2?
I think I'm gonna start getting into reality TV
I didn't watch
more.
season 1.
I didn't either.
And I'm sure Tanya will listen to this episode because, well, she loves all of us, but also Emily. Yeah. Tanya, I want you to know that I plan to start Traitors soon, but I started watching it, and then Chris was like, I want to watch.
That's one that I do kind of want to watch.
It's pretty good. I haven't watched a lot of it, but I did watch it with Tanya, and I enjoyed it.
I just love Alan Cumming.
Watched 15 minutes of it, and then I had a full dream. My whole dream that night was Traitors. Like, it was at the Traitors' house.
Were you a traitor?
I don't know, because I don't know the premise yet. I've only watched 15 minutes. It was just at the Traitors' house with Alan Cumming.
Yeah.
Which also, what a career for him.
I know. That's what's crazy
like,
to me.
He is having fun.
He did he was the voice for, like, a documentary about something so wild that I was like, what? I'll have to look it up. But it was just like, what is your career trajectory?
Yeah. But I also feel like, so, going back to Timothée Chalamet. Yeah. I feel like Emily is kind of on the same, like, spectrum, vibe as me, where we're both like, we love Timothée.
You guys both do.
And the thing is, and I think I said this on the podcast before, like, I realize it's not because, like, I'm not really attracted to him. I just love watching him on screen.
Yeah, I do too. Like, I think
I want to be friends with him.
I was like, I'm not attracted to him, but now I'm like, I wish I was at that Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest.
Yeah.
That would have been the perfect place to meet a husband for me.
You're like, yeah, like, give me those skinny little boys.
I think he's one of those people where it's like, if it's too much of somebody, I get a little like, what?
Yeah. Skinny little boys.
Emily would be like, we gotta put some meat on your bones, like cooking in
fried
the kitchen.
chicken. I do.
She's like, you want some grits? I can make them real good for you.
Like he'd like explode or something.
Like, little boy, come on with me.
Ice cream and grits all day.
Just look at that real waif of a boy over there. He's mine.
Little wisp. That's what you would call him.
A wisp, yeah. Anyway, sorry. What were you saying, Molly?
I don't remember now, but I was just saying, I don't know. I think when somebody's like pushed at me a lot, like, it just seems like it's a lot of Chalamet lately.
Yeah. Well, I think he's really, like, hitting his stride in his career.
And that's great.
It reminds me of similar, like, to Zendaya, where she's like, I feel like I have to keep producing, because it's like, there's constant fear that, like, people are going to forget about you.
Oh, she's about to be in so much. Like, because she kind of, like, I feel like she was in a lot last year, and then it's like, where's she been? Next year, she's, like, in so many projects. It's crazy. Yeah. But I was just going to say about Timothée Chalamet, I feel like the last thing I saw him in that I thought, like, that I was like, wow, about his acting was Call Me By Your Name.
That's like his big breakout role.
I know, but his acting in that was...
that.
Oh my gosh,
I want to see that movie, The King.
I mean, Armie Hammer. He was fine. He was good in The King, but he was kind of like how he is in Dune, where it's just like not a ton of emotion to me.
Yeah, I'm more interested to see Gwyneth Paltrow in this movie since it's her first, like, movie minus the Avengers that she's going to recall. But it's interesting because they were talking about, in this Vanity Fair interview, she's in a group chat with, like, Demi Moore and the creator of Nobody Wants This and, like, a couple of other, like, obviously, like, Cameron Diaz. Like, she's like, yeah, Cameron Diaz is my best friend or whatever. And it was the day that Demi Moore got... like, nominated for the Oscar. And it's interesting because it's like, well, this could potentially be Gwyneth Paltrow. But I'm, like, curious because I know Demi Moore did this, but I would feel like it's hard to, like, take such a back seat from acting.
And then, like, come back to the scene.
Yeah, like, from any profession or any, like, artistry or anything that you do, like, years and years later.
And have to go on, like, the press tours and, like, or if you're doing shows and all of that.
Yeah.
Like, when you've already... settled into a different norm.
Yeah, because she's like essentially Kourtney Kardashian now. You know, she's just kind of like probably not really. I don't want to say not working, but like not doing a lot.
Yeah.
And then the thing is,
well, she is the CEO of Goop, which is like a big like they bring in a lot of money.
No, I know, but I'm saying like I guess. Ooh, that sounded like it hurt.
Yeah, sorry, it did. I'm good.
I just think, like, but I don't mean she's not doing anything, but just kind of, like, her lifestyle's probably a little slower.
Yeah.
Not slower. I don't know. Yeah. But, like, I think, I'm curious what her acting will be because, honestly, I haven't seen her in anything in a long time except for Marvel movies where her acting isn't, like,
Yeah.
good.
I don't
I
watch
honestly
Marvel,
never
so.
thought
She's
she
just
was like an
Pepper.
incredible actress. Like even in Shakespeare in Love, which she won the Oscar for.
And she was not supposed to. I think
No.
like it's very clear.
Harvey Weinstein created
Weinstein,
like Oscar campaigning for
Yes.
Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
She like wasn't like people did not think she should have won that.
No.
So
But
I haven't seen it though.
I also am interested, like, I think their like family dynamic is interesting because, you know, we love Dakota Johnson and she is dating Chris Martin for a long time. And so she talks about how, like, oh, like, we're all one family. And the way she lists it off, it's like her current husband, his ex-wife, her children, and Chris Martin. But she, like, doesn't, like, ever mention Dakota Johnson. And she's been seen, like, being friendly with her and stuff. But it's like she doesn't, like, name Dakota as part of their
Aren't
family.
they not together anymore?
Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin?
Yeah. I thought they broke up. So that could be why. But I
didn't know you guys were such fans of her. I'm like indifferent about her.
Dakota Johnson?
Yeah.
So I think she's like not that strong of an actor, but I for some reason really like her. I don't know why.
Breakup rumors, it says. So maybe.
Yeah, but that was according to TikTok in like 2022.
Yeah.
So
So
I'm not
speaking
sure.
of breakup rumors,
Yeah.
should we
What a
segue
transition. Look
That
at you,
was
a little
good.
podcaster.
into the Sydney Sweeney?
yeah.
I don't even know what her fiance's name was.
I
He was like
literally
a
had it earlier.
no-name dude.
Yeah. Which I hate to say. Sorry,
He was
dude,
like the
but-
Yeah.
producer on, his name's Jonathan Davino.
So they called off the engagement.
Yes, so they've been together for
3-year
7
engagement.
years. They got engaged in 2022, I believe.
So 3 years.
Yeah, they were supposed to get married in May. And it's interesting because he was one of the producers, I think, on the movie she did recently with Glenn Powell, which is called, what's it called?
Nobody But You or something.
Yeah.
Anyone But You.
Anyone But You.
I almost said No Strings Attached. I'm like, is this 2009?
And during it was like, people kept saying like, oh, like her and Gwyneth
Paltrow.
her and Gwyneth Powell and Glenn Powell are gonna get together because they had like so much chemistry on that movie, and she kept being like, no, like my fiance and I are stronger than ever, like he was producer on it. And so recently
they
she was
had to come out and like try and justify, like, no.
which I understand like why you would have to do that if you're a famous person, but I feel like every time they do J-Lo and Ben Affleck, it never like it's like almost like a perfect recipe for like you're gonna break up. Like the more you have to be like, we love each other and our relationship is stronger than ever. It's like when you see like a couple that, excuse me,
It's like one of those things that everyone else around you sees the relationship is over. But you aren't ready to admit it, so you have to come out and be like, we are not over. We're stronger than ever. Before they're ready to admit that.
Well, it's like those couples where it's like they post on Instagram about each other with like the long captions of being like, I love this person so much, they're my rock, and then it's like they hate each other.
Crazy because I didn't know that she was engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew because it was a big deal because he's not like he's 41 and she's 27.
Whoa,
so there was like
I didn't
a
know
huge
that.
age gap.
Insane.
Yeah, and she was just like, oh, like, it works, like, I'm kind of, like, an older soul type of thing, which, whatever, not the biggest age gap I've ever seen, but also, like, he wasn't, like, I think people expected her to be with, like, a super hot guy, because she's super hot, and just kind of, she's just kind of, like, or not he's kind of normal looking. So they've been together for a while, but then she was recently spotted without her engagement ring, like, I think when she was doing a red carpet somewhere, this was like a week or so ago, and now it's like been official, like they've called off their wedding, or they postponed it.
Do you think she did that on purpose? Because you know everything you do is going to be, if you're at an event and you're not wearing your engagement ring, it's kind of like when Zendaya showed up to an event with an engagement ring, and everybody was like, obviously you know what that's
Which
gonna
has
do.
to be hard as a celebrity.
Yeah.
Like, the only time, ever since Chris and I got engaged, I forgot to put my ring on once when we were going to brunch.
Yeah.
And it happened to be the one time there was like 4 people were like, oh my god, congrats, let me see the ring. And I was like,
no.
And people were, and I was just like,
I
I
promise
forgot.
it's still on.
Yeah, I was like, I forgot the ring at home, and everyone was like, and I was like, it's fine. This is the only time I've ever done it.
We're still in love.
But imagine if I were famous.
No,
you know?
because I get that. I like almost got in the car. It was on my, because I don't sleep with my rings on. So like I don't either. There's times where I do forget to put them on. And if I'm on my way to work, I'm in the car, I literally stop the car and run back in because I'm just like, I'll feel naked without it, but then I'll also be like, what if someone were to see it and be like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Like that's like a fear of mine.
That's fair.
And so, and now, of course, immediately, rumors are like, people have seen her and Glenn Powell
Spotted
together.
out, yeah.
Like, when I Googled Sydney Sweeney fiance, it was actually hard for me to find his name just in a headline because Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell reunite in Dallas after she calls off wedding. Like,
which I totally ship their relationship. About, like, I mean, they are a hot couple.
How do you... So Molly isn't a big Glenn Powell fan. I keep calling him Gwen Powell.
I did have a dream about him the other night, though. Isn't that weird?
Oh, yeah. What happened?
It was actually, I don't like to talk about dreams, but I was with a group of girls, and he came in and kissed everyone on the head except me. He blew me a kiss because I was on the other side of the table, but it really bothered me for a few minutes after that he didn't kiss me on the head.
He was like, I know you're a hater.
He's like, I've heard Poppin in.
But I was charmed by him. He was so nice that in the dream I was, like, charmed by him, because he does seem like a cool guy.
He does actually seem genuinely nice.
Yeah.
I just can't think of him without seeing his
Wikipedia photo is my favorite. He looks like a capybara.
Oh, yeah, I need to see it. I'm going to be honest, I do
Emily,
think he is a hot guy. He's just not my type of hot guy.
Yeah, he's like a very classic hot guy.
He has tried to remove this photo.
Like, why is that his photo?
Oh my god, why is his mouth open so much?
It looks like he has so many teeth.
And
he also looks so young.
It's just such a funny his mouth is so square.
Callan, 2016.
Like, his mouth is so open.
What was his first role?
Spy Kids.
Oh, right.
I think.
He's in Spy Kids?
Yes, and he looks like the most annoying kid you went to elementary
school. But I bet
school.
as a kid, when I saw him, I had a crush on him as a kid. I bet I did.
Yeah. I think he plays like an annoying kid in the movie.
But that doesn't matter to me.
That doesn't deter you?
Oh, he's got a crush. Yeah. She got crushes for days.
Oh, yeah. He is 36. I thought he was younger than that.
Wow, he's really not going to give you a kiss now.
Sorry.
Only get a blown.
Wait,
he's
no,
on here.
3.
Only gonna blow him.
Younger is a compliment. God, this is such a hilarious photo.
Oh, wait, you're right.
He does look like he's got
It is so, like, why? He just has so many teeth
But he
in it.
tweeted about it. He was like, I have tried to take that down so many times, but people keep adding it.
That's
so
funny.
So funny.
But yeah, so I guess Sydney Sweeney and her fiance have, like, pressed pause. It's just interesting, like, I think about this all the time, like, it really does suck being famous and, like, in a relationship, because when something goes wrong, like, imagine how, like, you know how bad breakups are, how bad they feel? It's like, the whole world knows.
Well, a lot of times these people keep it private for a while, like
Yeah.
Paige and Craig, you know, like, they were broken up for, like, a month and before.
He's dating someone new, I think, I saw
that.
Craig from Southern Charm and Paige DeSorbo from Giggly Squad and Summer House. Yeah.
Do you watch Summer House?
But I have been watching clips lately because, like,
You
when
gotta
all the
watch it. It is
when all the
so
Hannah
funny.
stuff. Apparently, people didn't like Hannah on that show.
No, Tanya didn't want to listen to Giggly Squad, I think,
Because
at
of
first.
it. Yeah, neither did my friend Pippi.
So how did it?
Pippi.
That's
Wow.
such a cute name.
That is cute.
I had to, like,
love
stop
that.
and say
Yeah,
that.
that's cute.
What's
Shout
it?
out
Is it short
Pippi.
for anything?
Yeah, her name's actually Rebecca, but
Pippi.
she is from a big family, and they always called her like the pipsqueak of the family.
Oh, that's
That's
really
cute.
cute.
Pippi, but
That-
I've only ever known her. It's cute.
That
I
sounds
love
like a
it, too.
main character, like, origin
It
story.
totally. You're so right.
Also, that'd be cute for you.
It's
You're
giving
little-
like the summer I turned pretty. Like
Yeah,
You're a
well,
little Pippi.
Tanya talked me into getting this.
Have you seen-
Actually, I
sorry.
deleted it. Sorry, Ton. But it was like this self-care bird-esque thing, and you had to name it.
Oh, I've seen that. Finch?
Yeah, she loves
oh, people
it.
love that.
Yeah. I
Tanya-
get ads for it on my little, I have like a little bus game that I'm addicted to that really ruins my self-care.
Okay. Tanya loves it, and she makes her it makes her very happy. Like, she was in Puerto Rico, she was like,
Oh,
yeah,
I could
people
see
do
that.
love
yeah.
it.
So I got it, and I named mine Pippi, but then it was kept sending me way too many notifications, and I was like, I don't like this, so I deleted it.
What if
Yeah.
it's short for Pippington?
Oh, can you imagine? You were like, it's actually Pippi Longstocking.
I was thinking that.
That's her middle name.
Long stocking, yeah.
There was something I was gonna say. Oh, can you imagine though being him? Unless he's a bad person, then don't imagine being him. But can you kind of imagine him being him and like having to like everyone hates you kind of because it's like every guy wants Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, I think meant Glenn
Also,
Powell. I
I'd
was
be
like,
so
what?
upset
No.
as a producer that, like, now my art is, like, tainted. Like,
I
people
know.
only know me as Sydney Sweeney's ex-fiance.
Yeah.
But I'm a producer
However,
and I have art.
I think Benny Blanco has really leaned into that role, though. Like,
Well,
obviously
and
they
he's
know
just-
him out of...
People
but
know
he's-
him. Aubrey Plaza's the guy that died, he was like a director, writer, but like people just kind of knew him as Aubrey Plaza's husband.
Yeah.
And so when he passed away, it was like Aubrey Plaza's husband. I'm like, he like wrote, and I mean, obviously people are gonna know him
People
as
are going
that,
to do it to get clicks. And that's what's annoying. Like, I remember, I respect Stephen King for this one time when people were like, it was like a headline, like, Stephen King's wife donates $1 million to whatever charity. And he, like, retweeted it, and he was like, actually, I don't remember her name.
Oh, no, yeah. I didn't remember Aubrey Plaza. I think it's Jeff. It's Jeff Baena or something.
Oh, I thought you meant Stephen King's wife. I was like, her name's not
Jeff King. Sorry, Aubrey Plaza's husband. Okay, wait, hold on. It's Jeff something. Jeff Baena. I was right.
Tabitha, because she's also an author. That's right.
Two different. Yeah. Anyway, Aubrey Plaza's husband, Jeff Baena.
Stephen King's wife, Tabitha King. But anyways, he was like, she has a name. Like her name's Tabitha.
But like, what's the article going to say? Tabitha King donate? Like, no one knows who that is.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I guess it's kind of like when people would talk about like Jill Biden, and they'd be like, well, she does have a doctorate, or like.
Yeah.
So say the name first. So say like Tabitha King, wife of Stephen King.
Yeah.
It's a long headline, but you gotta do it.
My coworker met Stephen King like this year, actually.
Really?
And
it sounds bad, but I always forget he's like still alive and thriving.
Kirsten lives in the same city, or is from the same city. My old roommate, my friend, she is like, she used to go trick-or-treating at his house. Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
I feel like Stephen King is also one of those people where if I met him in real life, I would just be like, that's not Stephen King. You know what I mean? Where I just like wouldn't, it'd be hard to believe it.
yeah.
He's got a crazy face.
Yeah, he does. He looks like he writes horror.
Yeah.
And I mean that nicely.
He tweets up a storm.
He's a writer.
No, but he's very political.
He X's.
He X's.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I don't know if you guys are like caught up on Selena and her murderer, Yolanda. Oh my god. I literally know her name. So Yolanda Salvador, I hope I'm saying it right. Saldivar. I don't know. I'm sorry to everyone. Anyways.
Saldivar.
So she, if you don't know, like, how much do you know about, like, Selena and, like, the death?
So
I don't know anything about this.
Okay.
So do you know who Selena is?
I just read up more about it.
Gomez?
No.
That's all I got.
So Selena was like a very famous singer in the 90s. Like she was pretty young. I think she was like 24 or so when she died. Maybe younger actually. I can't remember. And she had just won a Grammy. And basically like she started out in like Selena y los Dinos and like she just became like really popular in terms of popularizing like Mexican music and culture, and it was right around the time where she was becoming big in like American culture as well, and people loved her because she was one of those people where she was beautiful and she was just like very genuine. Yeah. You know, like she was a nice person and she had been singing since she was like 9 years old. And so the woman she ran her fan club.
Yeah, she ran her fan club.
She ran her fan club, and then the family ended up firing her because they found out she embezzled money.
And fired
Yolanda,
her from...
Yolanda.
And not fired her from the fan club because I think she did get, like, kicked out of, like, the fan club. Yeah. But she also worked at their boutiques or something. It was, like,
she helped her. Boutique. Selena opened, like, it was called Selena Etc., I think, boutiques. And she helped her open them. But the main thing was she ran, like, Selena's fan club, which was huge. Like people paid dues. Like, they sent her money.
I didn't know that, like, Selena knew her. Like, I thought she was just, like, an obsessed fan. But I didn't know that, like, Selena literally drove her to, like, something, to an appointment. We don't have to get into that.
And
but,
she
like...
murdered her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was she was embezzling money from Selena's fan club, and so the family obviously fired her. And so then I think it was like she had called Selena to be like, I can't remember the details of this. It was like, can you meet me at like some hotel? So she met her there because they knew each other. So she wasn't
I didn't
like,
know that.
Yeah, so she wasn't like, oh, this is like some scary thing. And she shot her. Like literally like as if you were like standing across the room and I shot you.
Oh my God.
And she died.
Yeah.
And so it was a huge deal. Like she kind of, so it's interesting, like a lot of people I think this is actually crazy. I think it was like the year, so this happened in 1995.
Okay.
And then like around 99, 2000, that was when J-Lo starred in the movie Selena as Selena.
Oh, I've heard of this movie.
Which is a great movie.
But, so that happened in 1985, and I think, like, the Selena movie came out, like, it was, like, 4 years later, starring J-Lo. And then, at the beginning of 2020, around the pandemic, they came out with, like, it was, like, a 2-season series where it was actually really good, and it was, like, about her life.
Oh, Christian, what's-her-face was in it.
I don't know her name, but she was beautiful. She was, like, I really enjoyed it. So, recently, obviously, Yolanda was arrested. She's been in prison, and she recently was up for parole, and people were, like, kind of nervous because they were like, she shouldn't be, like, she literally killed this woman at point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was very clear, like, there was,
like stalker.
And
like,
unhinged, too. That's the thing is, like, she's, like, dangerous.
It was very clear, like, stuff was going on there. Mm-hmm. And so she got denied parole for, I think, until 2030 is when she can, but she got, like, she's going to at least be in prison for the next 30 years. But she has parole again in 2030. Okay. So I just think, like, it's just interesting because I feel like Selena has such a prevalent hold on culture sometimes that is, like, starting to fade with, like, a younger generation.
Especially as people, like, get her confused. Like, if people hear Selena, most people think Selena Gomez. Like, most people think that, I would say.
But people, I mean, people were devastated for, like, a long time. Because, again, she was so young. She had just won her Grammy. Like, she was, like, a star right on the rise. And, again, she was such, like, a beautiful person. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, she was pretty, but she also was, like, a wonderful person. Like, she was one of those people where you talk to them and you're just like, wow, you're very genuine. I say this, I've never spoken to her, obviously.
I was kind of wondering.
But, you know what I mean? And I think, like, she represented it, like, a lot for, like, young women and, like, for, like Mexican culture and just, like, so it's interesting to just, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? Is I'm shocked that Ryan Murphy hasn't done, like, an American Crime Story. I feel like he would love that kind of stuff. But like, he would ruin it.
But there's like no, and I'm being serious when I say this, there's no gay men involved in that storyline, so like he probably wouldn't do it. Like he has to have that in his. Yeah. Somehow he works that in.
And there might be some rights to like the Selena family and things like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But anyway, so she got denied, which I think, I mean, I don't know Yolanda, obviously. Yeah. But I think a lot of people find that kind of like fair and
yeah, I mean, she had to have made that, like, she definitely, did she plan it, or was it, like, a crime of passion?
I don't know. I mean, I think she planned it because she had gotten a gun.
Yeah, but it must have not been whatever the planned one is, because normally you get without parole, but the fact that she got parole.
Yeah, that's like true. I wonder, though, if maybe it, like, has something to do with, like, her mental health or that sort of thing.
That's true. Yeah. Or the fact that it was her only murder.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't
only
mean
murder
anything.
in the building.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but anyways, so just wanted to touch on that. But I know you guys also wanted to talk about Ariana Grande's new. I think did you say it was a new song or a whole new album?
It's deluxe off of her most recent album, Eternal Sunshine, and people are going crazy because Ariana Grande, much like Selena Gomez, has a huge cult following, and people love Ariana Grande. Even after people have tried to cancel her. Yeah. And so people are really into these new songs, our new album, whatever, the deluxe version. Everyone's always releasing a deluxe version. Like, why can't they just release all the songs at one point?
I know. That means nothing to me, too. When people, like, I don't know how you guys feel. Are you guys, like, we talked about this with, friend of the pod, Patrick, because he's obsessed with Post Malone, and he, like, when a new album comes out, he sits there and, like, listens. Yeah. And I've just never been like that. Like, I don't get excited over, like, new albums of somebody.
I definitely do.
You were like that with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
But I will say
I did listen to the Selena Gomez album and Cowboy Carter.
Yeah. But, like, Cowboy Carter, I listened to, like, selectively, but I was just like, it's kind of long. Like, I just wait till the things, like, that will cross my feed that I know I'm gonna like.
Same.
Which maybe is bad, but I think, like,
that's just how I am with music, though.
Yeah. Even with, like, Taylor Swift and Charlie XCX, where, like, here's another album, here's another version. I feel like that's for, like, real fans. Because otherwise, I'm like, it's too... I'm like, what is this song? It's... What? I thought I already heard this song. Which makes me sound like an old person.
Like, because of when Taylor Swift did, I'm like, oh, more music, yay! But it's also like, why couldn't we just do this one time? Yeah. And then it becomes like the thing with the cult. The reason you don't do cults is because of the money. Yeah. It's like they're always just wanting us to spend more money. That, capitalism.
Yes,
and like that is what it is, you know. But with Ariana Grande, her new song, is it called Past Lives?
Past Lives, yeah. We were listening to it. We all were kind of like, meh.
Yeah. But I will say...
Past Life.
I have to, like, give things, like, a listen once or twice, because most songs, like, even, like... And this is... I'm gonna be so upset to admit this, but when I first heard, like, the Lemonade album... The Lemonade album from Beyonce, I honestly didn't really like it that much. And then I listened to it a second time, and I was like, actually, I fucking love this. And then we saw her in concert. Yeah. But, like, I have to listen to things multiple times before I'm like, okay, I love this.
I think that's pretty common in a lot of music. Like, it takes you, like, a couple listens through, or, like, you're kind of, like, getting into the rhythm of this new album or these new songs, or, like, what, like, some, like, Taylor Swift, a lot of her albums are all different.
Yeah.
And so you're kind of like, okay, what is this genre of this album going to be? Like, what are we expecting here? Mm-hmm. So I think that's pretty common for you to take a minute to, like, love something.
Yeah. With her new songs, though, she references her relationship with her ex-husband. His name is Dalton Gomez, I believe. Yeah. I always forget about him. I forget she was married.
Also, hot take.
It was also out of nowhere.
She got married.
I think her engagement ring with Pete Davidson is one of my least favorite celebrity engagement rings.
I need to look at that now.
It's the one where it's, like, 2 stones, but they're, like, not... They're, like, kind of off... Like, they're not symmetrical. They're, like, off-center. I was just like, I don't know. I don't like it. How did you like it?
I love it. And so
I don't remember
Emily Ratajkowski's ring is also similar to that with the 2 stones.
Really?
I love a 2-stone, but I also think that it's something that it's a little eclectic and it's not for everyone, and I think that's why I really like it personally.
I think I just like that it's, like, off-center. Yeah. I think that really...
It's okay. You can hate it. It's not for everyone. I think a lot of people hate Emily Ratajkowski's too, but I'm like, damn.
I've never seen it. This almost looks like a pearl, like, rather than, like, a...
Yeah. Yeah, she did have the pearl, but Emily Ratajkowski has 2 diamonds. I don't love that one. The oval is so big.
I don't like the pearl with it.
But look up Emily Ratajkowski's. Hers is a little different.
Yeah. So her new... Whatever you were saying...
Ariana Grande.
I actually don't know anything about this topic.
I was just going to say she references him in her new songs, and it's kind of interesting because they're not that crazy of lyrics, but obviously fans would be, like, going crazy over it. But
did you guys read the article from her now boyfriend's ex-wife?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, SpongeBob's ex-wife.
Yeah. Because she was a therapist and she had, like, a good life, and now she feels like this has tainted her work.
Yeah. And well, also, like, the whole thing is kind of...
She's got an ass for this, yeah.
No, think about, like, her life, too, because, like, you're... Like, okay, you're going through, like, a breakup, and, I mean, they claim that he didn't cheat on her, but, like, I definitely... I don't know. And... Imagine now being faced with the biggest movie. Like, Wicked was the biggest movie just constantly shoved in your face, and you're seeing, like, Ariana Grande and, like, and, you know.
And that's why I go back and forth on my, like, I think she's a very supremely talented, beautiful person to watch on screen. Mm-hmm. I don't think she is, as we always say, like, a girl's girl, where it's like, she will steal your boyfriend.
I think she's one of those
her
people.
Best friend or something, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think she's one of those people who has to have what, like, somebody else has. So she sees that you have something. Yeah. That's the kind... And somebody said that about her. And I think it was Jeanette McCurdy, who was, like, kind of friends with her at one point, like, when they were filming Sam and Cat.
Yeah.
She said that about her. She was like, you're, like, that person that, like, if you see that I have something or whatever, then you had to make it about you. And you, like, I don't know. She just...
And I think it, like, someone had pointed out, it was, like, her last 5 boyfriends or whatever, it was like they were with someone else, and she still, and she plainly says, like, it's something she knows about.
I mean, she's
like,
break up
with your girlfriend because I'm bored. But it's just like, sometimes I'm just like, okay, like, I think you're very talented, but, like, this behavior, like, I don't know, like, it just...
Her personal behavior is
questionable.
It's questionable.
Her fans deny it, too, because she also did that with Big Sean.
Yeah.
And when Naya Rivera was with him, with him at one point, Naya Rivera from Glee, she said that, like, Ariana Grande, like, came in and, you know, whatever, like,
dug
took
her
him...
claws.
Yep, and, like, her fans, I've seen her fans, like, defend that, too, and be like, they weren't together at the time. I'm like, okay, but if it's very clear that this is happening a lot with this person.
She's bibbity-bobbity.
And I will say, I don't want to put all the blame on Ariana Grande, because the blame is on the men who made a commitment to this person. Yeah. But I just have known people like Ariana Grande, where it's like, oh, if I see that you're dating someone, like, I want to be with that person even more.
Yeah.
And so, I don't, like, it's interesting because I feel like before the Wicked movie came out, like, they weren't really promoting their relationship, and now her and her new boyfriend, and now, like, you see them out and doing stuff more often.
Yeah, but he just doesn't, I don't see what she sees in him. And I don't think I'm not saying he's ugly, because I've seen things where I'm like, okay, I guess I get it a little bit.
Yeah.
Not really, but, like, kind of. But they don't seem to have any chemistry when I see them together. I agree.
I'm like, the way that they walk around together is like sibling.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know, but like, so, and I think she's interesting in that, like, you know, artists are known for like writing songs about their exes, but I think a lot of the time Ariana Grande will straight like name check.
She
Really?
Name drops
sorry.
in a lot of songs.
Yeah, whereas like you know, like Taylor Swift will write her about her exes, but it's like vague.
It's very vague.
Yeah, she's not like Jake Gyllenhaal, we blah blah blah. Like, but Ariana Grande will straight. She which is interesting.
About Pete. Did she ever say any? Like, who else has she talked about?
She's talked about
like
that
whole one.
Oh, I guess that
like,
song. Yeah,
Big Sean.
Yeah,
Pete,
and I think there's other songs where she's maybe said his name.
But
like,
those weren't negative things, were they?
No, they weren't negative. But it's interesting. I'm like, okay, she'll like straight mention their names.
Yeah.
God, do you remember when I feel like that song really took a hold of the nation?
I really did love that song.
I do too. I love that album. That was a good
album. I still bump that
album.
song. I'm like,
Remember that? Then that music video, her like like that music video that just came out though. People were like, "Oh no!"
Oh, what music video that came out?
She was trying to not copy, but she was inspired by something. It was like a Madonna song or something. Remember the music? The music video, she's dancing. It just was like weird.
Interesting.
It's not good.
Yeah,
I don't really love this new album either.
No.
But the thing is, I thought she wasn't even doing music for a while. I thought she was just doing acting. Like, that's what she was going to focus on for a while, was acting.
I thought it was interesting that she released this album while also doing all this, like, Wicked press tour. It's like, girl.
I know. It's like, like, that's
these
a lot.
people have to be on so many drugs. Like, these famous people, where I'm just like, how are you doing this?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, they're also getting, like, probably, like, the IVs, where it's like, okay.
Yeah.
If we woke up and got an IV every day, we'd feel fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'd be like,
one
wow,
of those things. It's either a hardcore, like, drug, like, party thing, or it's like they're just really healthy.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't, her and Cynthia Erivo don't drink, I don't think.
No, she doesn't. She came out saying she's sober, and that's why she's so skinny.
Interesting.
Well, because people were like, you looked better then, and she's like, well, I was drinking every day. And now I'm not.
Ariana said that?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think Ariana's a very pretty name. I think that sometimes. But now it's Ariana Grande, so.
I know. It's kind of a perfect name. You'd think it was fake, but it is her last name. You know, like, it just sounds like such a stage name.
And I think people are really, like, not also... And again, I'm not trying to be, like, an Ariana hater, but there is, like, why are we not calling more attention to her appropriation of culture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like people would try to, like, low-key cancel her, but it's like she's uncancelable.
Yeah.
She is, because she is like, she'll bounce back. She's talented. So it's like she comes back with like, and then people forget.
Yeah.
But that is the thing is that I want to address that I feel like her fans should be a little bit freaked out by, I'm just going to be honest, is just her changing her self all the time. So the cultural appropriation. And then also just this new little girl thing that she's doing. We've talked about it before, but I think it's so weird.
And that's what's interesting, like, that her fan base kind of, like, I think doubles down on it. Because when I am, like, a fan of something, I think I'm a fan of it because I'm, like, I see myself in that thing.
Yeah.
But, like, if I were a fan of Ariana Grande, I'd just be like, well, I don't know what you are, really, anymore.
You're always changing.
You change your voice.
Yeah.
It's the changing the voice that freaks me out.
Even the body language.
Yes. Yeah. Her, like she tries to do this weird little girl thing because she played Glinda, so and I think she's also leaning into like an innocent thing so she doesn't get canceled. Do you know what I mean?
I think you might have said that before, like somewhere.
Yes,
I read that somewhere.
No, I think I said it on the podcast before. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. Ariana fans, please don't like hate us. Like, I'm saying how I feel.
And I have said this. Like, I've said this about
question your feelings.
Yeah. I've said this about, like, Zendaya. I've said it about, like Taylor Swift. I'll say it about Ariana Grande, where I'm like, I think these, like, famous people need to take a break. Because then you're going to take a break, you're going to get rest, and then you're going to come out with something that's, like, better.
Great. It's like, Taylor Swift did take a break. But, like, a long time. No Taylor Swift slander when I'm in the house.
But no, it's not slander. It's like me, like, it's honestly like where I'm just like you said, you're putting out an album while Wicked is coming out. It's like, and the album is like, I don't think it's gotten great reviews, and it's like, well,
I don't think so.
It's like, you probably just need like to chill for a second.
Do you think Ariana is a good actor though outside of Wicked?
I mean, I've never really seen her or anything because I didn't watch that show. So
I did, and she was very much like a Nickelodeon actor.
Yeah.
And I've seen her, so I don't think I've really seen her in anything else. But like Wicked obviously was just like she really wanted to be Glinda. Like she has clearly changed her whole life based on Glinda.
She would drive around the studio's parking lot, like rehearsing lines, and she would show up like every day being like, I'm going to try out to be Glinda until you cast me.
And she was amazing. And I'm glad she was nominated for an Oscar for it. But I think about it, I'm like, how will she be in other things if she now, pursues acting more?
Yeah.
I
thought that
she'll
too.
Be
like, she's very, the marketing budget on Wicked was crazy. It was everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, so we only saw
I saw
her
Wicked,
in
like,
that.
Kleenex. I was like,
everything.
Was it green or pink?
I can't remember. I think they probably had both. I can't remember.
Each one was
pink
different.
tissue for your green
We saw those
Ew.
Wicked.
Oh,
God. We saw those Wicked bananas.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What?
It was like a Chiquita banana, but it was like the ad was Wicked
why do they
themed.
need that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was crazy. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see where she lands. She'll probably this is not the last we've seen of Ariana Grande.
Yeah. And another
Probably.
people who have like a cult following, or someone who's like not really cult following, but someone who seems uncancelable, is Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
And him being on Saturday Night Live again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so he was the musical guest, and Mikey Madison was the host on Saturday night, like literally this Saturday.
Why was she the host now? Like, I'm surprised it wasn't like when.
Well, because it was on a
Honora
hiatus.
big and, oh, okay.
So SNL like goes like through pauses, and then it just came back.
Oh, okay.
Like they take like a few months off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Would you like
I hope they heard the noise.
So we're drinking the same wine as last week, a Bay Bridge $4 Moscato that Emily would never put to her lips.
And
Emily
I am
is
drinking
drinking
a Prosecco. Sparkling wine straight from Italy. Like how I like it.
Ooh.
Italy.
What?
You never heard anyone say Italy like that?
No, but
Like a
we
British
have now.
person?
Yeah, like Italy.
No.
You
I
sound
heard
like
you.
a bug.
What?
A noise that a bug would make.
Italy. Italy.
You maybe
Not a
sound like
bug.
somebody from Adolescence trying to say Italy.
Italy.
Love.
Italy love. Proper Italy.
Oh,
Anyway,
maybe
sorry.
there, because a little Irish.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
should watch the show.
No.
Okay. Anyways.
Which show?
Adolescence.
No.
It's good.
Sorry. Anyways, Morgan Wallen on SNL. I didn't see this. I don't know anything about it. Fill me in. Who is he? Like, I know
He
the
is
name.
a country singer.
I
He
think
sings that,
the small town thing.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
He
listen to
sings
country.
the
Where he's
small
like,
towns.
you wouldn't do this and like try this in a small
Oh,
town.
no,
or
no,
something?
no. That's Jason Aldean.
Oh,
He's the
ew.
worst.
Are you a country music fan?
I listen to country music.
Okay,
That's
I
not
didn't
all
know.
types.
Yeah. She dips her toe.
Yeah, most of the music I
Her
listen to
toe.
is Taylor Swift and then like folk Americana. So I'm like Tyler Childers.
Yeah, I listen.
Cam.
I listen to him too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Morgan Wallen is like, he still has a huge fan base. Like
Yeah.
people still
And the
pay.
country community love him.
Yes, people still pay a lot of money to see his concerts. Like he still comes through. Like he goes on tour. Like whatever. But he's gotten in trouble for
He's
racist remarks.
He's an extreme alcoholic. He went to a bar opening in Nashville of I don't remember whose bar it was, but it was a bar opening. It wasn't his bar that was opening, and he threw like a chair off the roof.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's just very like
Could've
he's
killed
just kind
somebody.
of he's wild. He's
Yeah.
like he's just very unhinged, and again he's performed on SNL like multiple times.
He's a controversial country
very
character.
controversial figure.
Interesting.
And,
aren't they all, but like I feel like controversial country characters
Yeah,
is
and
kind of
A theme.
yeah.
Yeah.
and
Say it
so
5 times
he's
fast.
like definitely got like he is known for like these things that he's done, yet he still performed on SNL. This is his second or third time. And at the end of the show, they do like it's the credits, and it's like usually the host is like thanking everybody, and then usually they all stay on stage and hug each other. So it's like the host and the
Yeah.
musical guest and then the cast are all hugging each other. And he literally, Mikey Madison, like said everything, and then it like credits rolled. He like maybe gave her like kind of a weird hug, like he kind of just like patted her and then just walked off the stage, like past the camera, just kept walking.
Wow.
While
What was
cast-
her reaction? Sorry.
I don't know. I just kind of saw what he was doing, and he like they did like she immediately turned to him and like they kind of hugged whatever, and then he walked away and she just like went and hugged the cast. But the cast was standing really far behind them, so that's kind of an indicator that like maybe they weren't happy that he was on the show.
I could see that they weren't happy. I mean,
Yeah.
he is definitely. I mean, I'm not a fan of like the LGBTQ community either, and Bo and Yang, and
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
very prevalent on that. You know.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of controversial things. I think most of the controversial things he said were racist, but
yeah. I think just probably everything that that he stands for is like, I'm sure they all, like, I'm sure the cast is, you know, has no say in like who comes on, so maybe they were like kind of boycotting it or something, and he knew that, so it was just funny that he walked like right off. Him. That's true, yeah, he wasn't like in any sketches.
I am not a fan of him, and I do not listen to his music.
I've heard like some of his music, and I'm just
I know some of his songs because they're like popular ones that play. Yeah. But I am not giving him any.
Like,
no,
he's
on my phone.
I've just like
out
of
all
of
his songs, like what song would I know? Is there any like that would cross my desk? Like what's his most like?
I can't love you more than my hometown. Something like that.
Is that really a lyric?
Yeah.
He loves his hometown that much.
That's great. What's his hometown?
I have no idea.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It's like Williamsburg, Virginia.
You're like, oh my god, he's my neighbor. No, he sings that. There was a song that was like a really popular song.
He's from Sneedville, Tennessee.
It's not Sneedville.
Look up most popular songs.
What is Sneedville?
I think it's like whiskey something.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Cowgirls.
Whiskey glasses. That's the one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need some whiskey glasses.
Ooh.
Okay.
I cannot sing. I'm so sorry.
I still
people
don't know,
popping in. Yeah, you don't listen to country music.
Well, has he hosted SNL before? I think
he's not hosted. He's just like been the musical guest like a couple times though. I know
he
at
seems
least
like a strange host.
He's not a host. Like he's like saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like he's not a host. He's the musical.
Molly's like time, Molly. Yeah. Musical guest.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is like, and so I remember last time he was the musical guest, like people were kind of like, you're having him on, like, because he's very controversial. He's done some bad things, and he's apologized for them. But I don't know. I think it still represents who he is.
Yeah, he's like an extreme alcoholic, they said. Like, he had to cancel some shows because he was like,
drunk. And he's usually really late to his shows too. Like I know somebody who saw him in Virginia Beach or something, and they knew somebody who saw him, and he came out like really late.
Yeah.
Like, so he's probably back there.
Just back to his fans.
No, I don't.
But he seems uncancelable, just as Ariana Grande
on SNL. Who's making that decision though? It's not Lorne Michaels. Like, you think Lorne Michaels?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes like a lot of
True.
these like big corporations recently have been like very afraid of the new like Republican government, that they just are kind of like, okay, we need to appeal to both sides type of thing. So they're like, we're gonna bring in this country music artist.
But I feel like no one is watching Saturday Night Live who's a Republican anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. True. And I wouldn't think anyone who's running it is. So that's what's confusing.
Yeah, like they had Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Right, like it's confusing to me that
I don't watch it after that. They were like, fuck Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like anyone who's like running it is probably not like a Morgan Wallen fan.
Well, maybe like after like the Kamala Harris, because here's the thing: the people who watch Saturday Night Live on Saturday night. Like, the people who are watching cable are going to be older people who maybe are more, like, right-leaning. Yeah. So maybe, like, they lost a huge audience after they saw Kamala Harris. And maybe they're like, here's how we get them back, Morgan Wallen. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if that would... Like, I don't know the thinking behind it, but it does seem like, kind of strange for SNL.
Like, multiple times that he's been a musical guest.
Did you ever watch the Saturday Night movie?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. I loved it.
It was great.
I loved it. I've now watched it 4 times.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it on?
Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's so random.
So I just love it. I think it's gonna be my new Airplane movie.
This is so strange.
No more Django Unchained.
That's my Airplane movie. That was my go to sleep movie at one point.
That's wild.
Which is weird. No, Knives Out and Knives Out 2 are my.
I love
Airplane.
Knives Out. That is a good.
That's
movie.
funny, but then when our friend was listening to Law and Order, you're like, "That's a crazy thing." You're listening to Django Unchained.
The difference is I wouldn't like do that in front of people.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I wouldn't play, no offense, Sarah, if you're listening, like, we love you, but, like, it was just crazy that she was playing a Law & Order episode very loudly on her phone in between us.
Yeah. Oh, in the bed?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that is
I remember it being very loud in my ear.
I'm just picturing, like, if we're sharing a bed and it's just, like, the
episode
Django
after
Unchained soundtrack. Like, at
I would be like, turn that shit off. I
Yeah.
could not do the TV, but...
No, I have to do sound soothing, like, white noise.
I do. I listen to white noise and I watch something on my iPad, but like I wouldn't do that if somebody, like if I'm
wouldn't disrespect
over.
someone else. Yeah.
Matthew can fall asleep to anything.
Like Matthew
so.
doesn't count.
My husband.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
He's literally.
So that's interesting. I also realized we didn't ask our question of the week.
Oh,
whose cult?
We have to go back to so going back to like Gwyneth Paltrow. I assume that's what we were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about cult followings. Morgan Wallen, like.
Yes.
Ariana Grande. Selena Gomez has a big cult following.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
now the
our
goop.
question of the week is: what celebrity would you like join a cult of? Does that make sense? Like a celebrity following cult?
Yeah. And I think if you guys haven't already picked up, mine is definitely Taylor Swift. I'm already in the Taylor Swiftie.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the word for that now is like being a stan, like standing somebody.
Yeah.
So
no. I mean like this person is like come live on my, not concubine. What's the name? Commune. And let me brand you.
I am still signing up for Taylor Swift 100%.
Interesting.
She is so kind and such a nice person, and there's no really bad press about her.
But who would be your number 2? I'm curious. Because I did know you were going to say Taylor Swift.
I don't know. I feel like you'll know this one too, Chrissy Teigen.
Okay, I did know that,
Who is someone who is a polarizing person. People either hate her or love her, but Luna's named Luna after Chrissy Teigen's Luna.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always, you might hate this, but the thing I think about when I think about Chrissy Teigen is when her and John Legend did that interview, and they were talking about, like, when you're, like, having sex and you're going from behind or something, and he was like, yeah, well, like, I've seen your asshole.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? And, like, absolutely shocked. And I was like, I guess that's not, like, a thing that you think about often, but, I guess he has. If y'all are, like, doing that position.
She's a model. She's probably got it bleached so many times.
But it was just, I'm just like, I guess I never thought about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think about that. And I'm going to be honest, anytime someone mentions Chrissy Teigen, I always think about that for some reason.
Asshole.
I think about her asshole.
I've never once thought of it, but maybe now I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I think I've tainted it for you.
But I do really like
That's good.
Chrissy
Thank you.
Teigen, and I have some of her Cravings line, and I have all of her cookbooks.
Yeah.
So
I love
she
that.
makes a good meal, let me tell you.
Oh, I believe it. And I'm going to be honest. Okay, Gwyneth Paltrow, as I said, I would come close to being a gooper, but before she had Goop, she did her...
I hate the name. I don't like that.
Well, because you know what it sounds like.
Goop.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
that's
too.
true.
Wow, I don't know if I've ever heard you say it. You always spell the word.
I didn't say it. I didn't. I said Goop.
She didn't say it.
Oh, but you replaced the G with a P.
It's just an ugly word. I think so. She named it that because it's like apparently like because like Google or whatever, if you have 2 O's in something, people respond to it more.
Oh.
So it's like G, her initials with OO in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but what about your
well, I think like I was gonna say also Gwyneth Paltrow's like cookbook, like it's called It's All Easy. I used to make fun of it because I would be like, yeah, of course it is for Gwyneth Paltrow, but those recipes are good and they are easy. Like they're very good. Like I have the cookbook, I got it when I worked at the bookstore, and I love that cookbook. But I guess, I mean, it would be Gwyneth Paltrow or that's tough. Even though I posed
It's your question.
I know. I guess I maybe. Honestly, like Timothée Chalamet or Zendaya. I love watching Zendaya. Like I would let Zendaya brand me.
I do love Zendaya. I don't know.
And it would be cool because it'd probably be a Z.
Yeah.
Eclectic. And I just feel like she's also fun and like funny and smart, and I just feel like, yeah, I'll join your cult, whatever you're doing out there.
And her skin is so nice.
Yeah.
She is so beautiful.
Yeah.
What about you, Molly?
I feel like, I don't know, like Pedro Pascal or something.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I think so.
We should have predicted what each of us was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like mine is really, like, outknown.
Yeah. Well, Molly didn't know.
Yeah. She probably could have guessed the Taylor Swift one.
Yeah, I would have guessed Taylor Swift.
But the Chrissy Teigen one.
Chrissy Teigen, I did not know that. Yeah.
I'm a big Chrissy
Because I would have said...
Stan.
Obviously, I would have said Robert Pattinson for you, but I don't know.
I think that is
there's someone I'm missing.
But I don't think I would join his cult because he is like a weirdo, you know? Like
it
I
would
love
be a
him.
weird cult.
I love him, but you know he'd be like weird.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal would be fun. Oh, well, actually, this guy would be weird too, but what's his name? Skarsgård.
Oh, I would totally join
you love him.
Cult.
Yeah, but they would all be also very weird,
I would want them all to be in the cult, though. Like, I would want Stellan, Alexander, Bill.
It'd be like a righteous Gemstones.
So, like,
Scientologists.
Yeah. Not that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that you?
Actually, you know whose cult I would join?
It was Alexa Slipper.
Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
I would.
Did
join
you
her
like
cult.
the shout out on the studio?
I did like that. Yeah. We'll get into that.
I wasn't going to talk about it. I just asked a question.
What is this? 7 points?
Oh, that is the 7-part series of Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber. Hailey Baldwin and Justin Bieber. 7-part series about how basically Hailey Baldwin manifested her marriage with Justin Bieber, and the 7-part series is about the manifestation of that, but also her hate for Selena Gomez.
Can I ask a quick question? Who did the 7-part series? Like,
Just
so
a
it's
rando
a TikToker
on TikTok.
Okay, got it.
It may be a famous TikToker. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know everyone was saying 7-part series, so I went and watched it.
7-part series.
But the thing about thing about TikTok that pisses me off is I'm gonna go search that, and then it's gonna be the first things that come up are gonna be people talking about the 7-part series, and I'm like, no, I just want the original.
I may be able to
7-part
find it
series.
and send it to you.
Okay.
So it's basically 7 parts, and it shows photos of Justin Bieber and Selena at like movie premieres, and Hailey Baldwin is in the background. Then also there's like a Justin Bieber fan account, and she was messaging this fan account back in the day being like, do you know what hotel Justin Bieber is staying in? And then she would go and stay in the same hotel as him in hopes to run into him. And there's multiple photos of her in the background of photos of Justin Bieber that are like publicly paparazzi photos. Ew. And a lot of them he's with Selena Gomez.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and apparently he texted Selena Gomez 23 times on his wedding night. And there's a song, and Selena's songs says, like, I saw all 23 of them. It's referencing.
Oh, wait, how do people know that he texted her 23 times?
It came out as a rumor, and then her basically confirming by saying, I saw your messages, all 23 of them. And it's like the lyric in the song.
Oh, wow.
So it's like her confirming, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it seems like Hailey Bieber doesn't really care because she manifested this, and she's hated Selena, and she's copied Selena with her outfits and all of these things. She's so bad wanted to be Selena Gomez. She even, like, in the 7-part series, and I'm not saying I'm on either side. This is just what the series is saying.
Yeah.
The 7-part series.
You're an unbiased reporter.
Unbiased reporter, exactly. So in the series, it says Selena had a cooking show called This, and it was in her own house, and her grandmother comes on and like reads the recipes.
Yeah.
And then Hailey Bieber got a cooking show, and it was like, this is my own house. I'm filming this in my house, and this is my grandmother. She's gonna say the recipe for the day.
What?
And it's like
so crazy.
It is crazy. Like I highly recommend watching it. I was
Selena
like,
had
whoa.
Rare Beauty, and then and
now she has Rhodes
yeah.
Beauty. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Rhode is more of skincare, and Rare is more of makeup.
I will say Rhode has a good. I like the like
peptide plump.
I like the look of Rhode. Like I like the like aesthetic of it.
It does feel very like Newport.
Yeah.
Vibe.
Clean.
Yeah.
Like clean girl aesthetic.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like the thing I'm kind of whatever on it because like Hailey Bieber does seem nice whenever I see her in like any like she seems sweet, and I know she talked like her, the thing about Selena Gomez fans, say what you will about Selena Gomez, whatever, her fans are crazy. Like, I'm sorry if you're a Selena fan, you're listening to this, but you, like, a lot of them are crazy, and they were, like, really attacking Hailey.
Yeah. And she came out, Selena Gomez was like, can you stop doing that to Hailey?
Yeah.
But now it's like,
I don't think she stopped them enough.
no.
Yeah.
I don't think she really did, but that's
the thing
just,
is I always think about though, like I feel like Selena Gomez is probably like maybe further past this.
Oh, I'm
hang up
sure.
Because again, it's like
it's your high school boyfriend.
Yeah. Like imagine people.
And she's winning. I mean, Benny Blanco is in love with her.
Oh yeah.
She's doing.
Yeah, that's
I don't know if you
true.
saw any of the Jay Shetty interview, but he's like, I wake up. Benny Blanco, not Jay Shetty. He's like, I wake up and think, what can I do to make Selena's day better or more or
That's
easy?
Crazy.
And he knows. He's like, and I know she is thinking the same for me.
Aww.
And it's a very
she's not
wholesome interview. I really loved it.
She's also winning, like, with him, yes, and they seem to be very happy, and then also she's just, like, successful at her, like, in her career right now, like, Only Murders, and then, I mean,
Amelia Perez.
It was still an Oscar-nominated movie, like, you know, and
then this new album is great. I love it.
And the thing is, I could also see Justin Bieber, like, I think we've talked about this in the pod before, and I definitely heard this on Giggly Squad, give it credit, where it's like, you kind of are stuck in the age that you became famous at, like,
yes.
And he became famous, like, they both became famous very young, obviously, but he became a bigger name, like, more international sensation famous, much younger.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, we've heard from all the Diddy stuff that he likely has had a significant amount of trauma. And so I wonder if he holds on to the relationship more than she does, like with the 23 texts or whatever. And maybe that's where some of this is coming from. Because, like, he even did, it was like a birthday where it was like the favors or something was like on a bullet and it's like engraved with like, I'm glad I didn't get what I thought I wanted or something. And everyone was like, that's definitely a dig at Selena. And it's like, why would you do that, post about it, knowing like people are gonna say that, you know?
And I think dating him is probably a lot because like have you seen videos of them like of Hailey and Justin out like there's one where he's on a skateboard and she's running after him and she literally falls like on the street because paparazzi are surrounding him and he's just skating away and she's like trying to run after him. I'm just like, I imagine like being in a relationship with him is probably so hard.
It does feel like a fan famous person relationship. Like, it feels like she is putting in the effort. She's like, this is us, this is our beautiful life.
Exactly. And he's like, I don't give
a fuck.
I'm like dead inside.
And people also, there's rumors that they were put together because of the Scientology church.
I could see that for sure. Because how did they even meet? Like, how did they start dating? I don't even
remember.
So
they met, this is part of the 7-part series. Her father arranged a meeting of them at
Stephen Baldwin
at a concert. He took Hailey to the concert and arranged a backstage meeting of them too, and it's on tape. It's like, this is my daughter Hailey, and she looks so young and like skittish. It's like crazy. Like,
interesting. I will be watching this.
I kind of want to now. That's crazy.
I also want to watch the Selena Gomez documentary, but I still haven't watched it yet.
There's so many cringe scenes from that. I just can't.
Which documentary?
The Selena Gomez documentary.
Oh my god. After it, I made me, like, no offense again to Selena Gomez fans. I do like Selena sometimes. But the documentary, she just is like, hates being famous.
Yeah.
And she's like kind of mean to like report like people. And I'm like,
did you see that one where it's like the reporter asked her, she was talking about philanthropy, and then at the end the reporter, who was like from a different country too, so it could have been maybe like a little just like barrier, like you know what, I don't know, and she just was kind of like, okay, thank you, like, and wrapped up the interview, and Selena was like, okay, thank you, thanks for listening, and like, and then went back and the camera was filming her just being like, I am so sick of this, like, and she's like crying because like the person didn't want to talk about her philanthropy because obviously not, she's Selena Gomez,
like who cares, and she's not who cares, but
the whole thing is like her crying,
exactly,
and being mean to people,
her crying about being a celebrity and being famous and all the like baggage that comes with it, and it's just like, okay, she's like, sorry,
bipolar, I think
she does struggle with
mental health and lupus.
I think borderline personality or bipolar. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But she does, she definitely struggles with mental health. And I am a fan of her in some aspects. I do think she's somehow talented, although sometimes I question, I'm like, what is she talented at? Because sometimes I don't think she's a great actor.
Her. Like, I do love Only Murders in the Building.
I do too.
I actually don't like her in that much because I feel like she's just playing herself.
Very monotone.
Again, I've said this so many times. Her and Cara Delevingne were like two planks of wood kissing.
Crazy. But I think the chemistry with her and Martin Short and Steve Martin is really good.
Like it too.
Yeah. And like, I think her music, I'll be honest, it's fine. Like,
I like some of her songs.
I loved that song that came out that a lot of people hated, but I love when she was like, steak tartare.
Oh yeah, I did like that.
Really liked
like
that song.
I think her music is fine, but I'm not like, you have like an amazing voice.
It's like she became a singer because she was Selena Gomez,
right?
Like,
and she was a Disney Channel star.
Yes,
yeah. So it's like I'm not really sure what her talents are
anymore.
Yeah.
Well, the new album is really good. Like, I really like the new album.
Have to listen.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Like, I just can't imagine like Hailey Bieber as a person. I just am like, she doesn't seem super interesting.
That's a nepo baby. She has
she's a socialite.
She's famous for being famous.
Yeah, exactly. She's an influencer, socialite.
Yeah. But,
and so I don't know. I don't want she seems nice to me, but that is like kind of like when you see all the things lined up, it does seem it's kind of weird. I wonder how she'll respond.
She never comes out and like says anything. I don't think.
Sometimes she'll deny things. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I'm curious how she'll respond to that series.
Yeah.
I don't know if no one's responded to it yet. I think it was all the buzz on the talk this week.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of talk.
Yeah, okay.
There's something happening right now. Blonsky talk? Blanc talk?
Blanc talk, wow.
Blanc talk. Do you guys know?
We'll really put any word with talk.
We really will.
Well, the funny thing with this is well, maybe you can go into detail about it, but it's funny that everyone is sharing their cameos of her, and it's like, I didn't know someone would ask her for a cameo.
Yeah.
I will say, I loved the Hairspray movie.
Oh, me too. I saw it like 3 times in theaters.
I saw it in theaters at least once, and I've seen it so many times after that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I love Zac Efron. So
I think it's one of the best, like, because I'm a huge musical fan. I think it's one of the best, like, musical movies ever.
Yeah. I agree.
It's
like,
so
it is
good.
just great.
And she was so good in it, too. I must say, like, she's an amazing singer. And so for those who don't know, Nikki Blonsky played Tracy Turnblad in the Hairspray movie. And she was kind of only known for that. Like, she was in that and then wasn't really in anything else. She's maybe had, like, guest appearances and stuff. You mentioned, like, a Lifetime movie where her whole role was to play, like, an overweight girl. Yeah. And that was literally the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
And now she's making a resurgence.
A TikTok resurgence.
Yeah, so how did this get started? Do you know, Mom?
So she's on, because again, I don't think her career went anywhere. And she has, like, acknowledged that. She's kind of disappointed in her career. It actually made me very sad, because this is, like, a quote from her. But she said, I did not take a conscious step out of Hollywood. This was in, like, 2017 in Out, a magazine. She said, I did not take a conscious step out of Hollywood, and so long as I'm alive, I never will. Singing and acting has been my dream since I was 3. Because, by the way, I think she was discovered, like, she was just, like, working at a mall or something, and then auditioned for Hairspray and got it.
Yeah.
So that, like, she wasn't, like, famous before that at all. Anyway, she was just kind of saying, like, it's no offense to the industry. Or she was like, it kind of feels like the industry left me. It's no offense to the industry because I understand that there are new actors and actresses every day. And then she said, Hairspray, though, was just a very different entity. It felt like they took me to the top of a mountain and gave me everything I ever wanted. Then after a year, they all just looked at me and said, okay, bye, and left me with no way to get down. I would be lying if I said I still didn't struggle with it. I see a lot of my co-stars steadily working, and I question whether I did something wrong. Yeah. And that made me kind of sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
So I think to make money, which a lot of celebrities who maybe their careers aren't really it anymore, they do cameos because you can make a lot of money, I think, from those. So people, like, buy her cameos or whatever, and she makes these cameos where she just, like, references Hairspray, like, in the song or in the
but
cameo.
She's just, like, in her gym clothes, like, or, like, in a t-shirt, like, has her hair in a headband. She's like, it's Nikki Blonsky here.
And she's kind of slurring her words a little, so some people think she's, like, drunk in the videos, but she'll be like, I heard you were the nicest kids in town. Like, she'll, like, reference, and she'll be like, you can't stop an avalanche. And I'm saying that because I have a very funny video to show. But she's like, she apparently has, like, a 20-second turnaround with her videos. Like, people will buy them, and they'll get it, like, literally 4 minutes later.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wait, I didn't hear that part.
And so because of, like, this now, so everybody's been sharing their cameos because they're just, like, it's hilarious. She says the same thing in each one. And they're very nice. They're very heartfelt. Again, she might be drunk, but I'm not saying that.
She could be drunk.
But she is kind of slurring her words a little bit in them. But she, like, they're just, like, hilarious cameos. And so she's, like, since they've kind of become more famous, she's apparently raised her cameo rate from $20 to $100 a video.
Wow.
As she's become more popular.
People want them. So
smart.
the first one I saw was on Remy Bader. She posted hers, and then I was like, what? So then I clicked the hashtag and started watching a bunch of them. And I was like, this is so funny because I loved Hairspray so much.
Yeah.
But somebody put together...
Oh my god.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Oh that's what she does in all of her videos. It's crazy.
And they're all really close, like up close and personal to her.
Because I think that's just, she just sits probably in her house and just sends cameo after cameo.
Yeah, that's how you're making.
But she has kind of a weird history because, like, she was, at one point, she would post videos of her, like, I guess she would do, like, meet and greets, and so she would be sent to, like, hotels, but they'd be, like, Holiday Inns.
Oh.
And she would film herself in the hotel room being like, thank you so much, like, for sending me. Like, she'd be in, like, Idaho, like a city in Idaho or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then she'd, like, record herself, like, she'd show out the window. It's, like, the view of, like, a parking lot. It's, you know, like, the princess, like, Welcome to Genovia thing, but it was, like, real. Like, she was literally doing that. She'd be like, I love, and, like, look, I have a coffee machine in my hotel room. And, like,
she was so thankful.
Yeah,
wow.
she was so thankful. And, like, I just feel... I don't know. she's interesting. But
that's what I always say. Like, fame is such a double-edged sword because it's like she said, they took her to the top of the mountain, and then it's like, fame can go away so fast, but you're addicted to it. Like, that's what you are wanting.
Well, and I hate to
and
say
that's why
it.
back to the thing. where you kind of stopped, where you became famous, because that's where you get that first hit of addiction.
Yeah. And the thing is, she is supremely talented. Like, her voice was really good. Maybe not as much anymore, but, like, I don't know. But, like, in Hairspray, she was really good. But I think, like, unfortunately, she kind of served, like, one purpose. And I'm not saying she had to, but just she did. Whereas, like, if she's comparing herself to her co-stars, like, obviously Zac Efron's career, like...
He was already famous.
He was already
before
famous.
that. And then, I mean, Amanda Bynes is in that movie, and that kind of went down.
Yeah, and I wouldn't compare... If I were her, I wouldn't compare myself.
Like...
Right, he's not going
But that was, like, the end of his, you know...
his last great role. Mm-hmm. He was so funny.
So
Tracy
funny.
Turnblad. But she is, like, obsessed with Zac Efron. She claims he's one of her best friends because she was on an interview with Wendy Williams, and Wendy Williams, you know, she asked her about him, and she was like, are you still friends with Zac Efron? And she was like, oh, yeah, he's one of my best friends. Like, we talk all the time, which I don't know if that was true.
Yeah.
And then she goes...
I heard Zac Efron saying that.
I know. And Wendy asked her about Vanessa, because this was at the time when, like, they were having their thing. And she goes, so how do you feel about Zac and Vanessa, then I have to ask? And she was like, oh, she opened her mouth and just talked. She was like, I don't like it. She was like, I'm sorry, Vanessa, like, I like you, but, like, no, he should be with me. And, like, just...
Yeah, I think I saw that on TikTok.
Going. And the whole audience, you could hear them be like, oh.
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, now we know you're not best friends.
Yeah,
like,
you're just in love with him.
Yeah,
which, I mean, I can't blame her.
Away. Yeah.
I was also in love with Zac Efron in Hairspray.
And
Zac
High School
Efron's
Musical. Younger brother is in the new season of Traitors.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think his name is Dylan Efron.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch that game show that was put on by the Kevin Jonas and the Bonus
I heard
Jonas?
About it, yeah. And
it was about, like, you were famous. You're related to a famous person, so you're famous adjacent. Mm-hmm. It was really great. I forget exactly what the show was called.
But they stayed in a house. It was supposed to be like Big Brother, but they would like stay in a house, and everybody had to figure out like who. Somebody was related to Zendaya.
One was related to Zendaya. Someone was related to Keke Palmer.
Wow. The thing is, how would you feel being that
Dylan
famous
was on there
person?
though.
You know,
wasn't he Dylan Efron?
Oh, I think he was on the second season.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like, if you're, like, your name is Dylan Efron, so it actually would be kind of hard for you, because you're not famous like Zac Efron, but people are going to be like, Efron.
Well, but then your only thing is to become a reality star.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind
all
of
you
like,
have.
yeah.
But
she also got in trouble in 2008 for like a confrontation she had with a model from America's Next Top Model. She and her family, they were at like Turks and Caicos. Yeah, Nikki. She and her parents were involved in a violent confrontation with the family of Bianca Golden, a former contestant on America's Next Top Model, over saved seats in the airport departure lounge.
Saved seats?
And Golden and Blonsky were both charged with I don't know what actual bodily harm is. And the charges were eventually dropped. But apparently the altercation was, according to Golden, was racially motivated and involved racist remarks on Nikki Blonsky's part. Oh. So I think that could have had maybe something, I mean, 2008
detrimental
was like
to her career.
When Hairspray came out, I think, like a year later.
That would be really detrimental, yeah. Interesting.
So she's just like an interesting person, but I had to like share all that because it's just crazy to me that like she's becoming like
I hadn't thought about her in years either.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
But she's crazy because she's famous in that, like, you say Nikki Blonsky, I'm like, yeah, I know who that is.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you like how she would post on Twitter all the time replying to famous people's Twitters.
Yeah.
So that way it was like her Twitter was getting seen more because she was like replying
on
to
famous accounts. Okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that drive you crazy? She probably did think she was going to become famous after Hairspray, and that would kind of drive a person crazy.
Oh, yeah, it would be awful. Like, there's so many people where you're like, oh, like, from the early 2000s, we're like, oh, yeah, like, they were famous, and then it's just like, what happened to them?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
That's why they go on Cameo.
What's it called? 5 seconds in fame?
5 seconds of fame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One-hit wonders.
Yeah, exactly. So, we want a steady rise. Yeah. But I do think that's all we had for you this week. Emily, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. Sorry, my voice has squeaked a lot. I lost my voice last night.
Yeah, I can tell you're like about to fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm feeling really raspy. Well, it's bedtime. I'm a 10 o'clocker.
Okay, well, we still have to make dinner.
It's 9 p.m. I had no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Emily, for coming, our number one fan. We hope you had a good time. I hope those who had a good time
listening.
Yeah, listening.
And I'm so happy to have me.
Yeah,
and so happy that you had me. Yeah.
Thank you. It's been a long.
We're all tired.
Yeah, it's been a really.
We've
long
actually
day.
been together like all day.
Yeah. But as always, like, rate, subscribe, review.
Follow us on Poppin In Podcast
on Instagram, and share with your friends, family, your pets, whoever your imaginary friends. Just share us. We would love that. We would love more listeners, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.